funny thing happened to William and Stanley. On their way to college, they got framed for murder.
Whoa! Wait a minute!
And only one man can save them.
We got an attorney in the family. Great, who?
He's
My cousin Vinny. You graduated from law school 6 years ago. What have you been doing since?
Studying for the bar. That's a lot of studying.
It's his first case.
Now, didn't I tell you to dress appropriately?
You were serious about that?
And Vinny's girlfriend.
We agreed to get married as soon as you won your first case. My biological clock is ticking.
May I have permission to treat Miss Vito as a hostile witness?
You think I'm hostile? Now wait till you see me tonight.
That was like a legitimate trailer. Did you just rip the trailer this time?
Dude, I had to. There's only one existing trailer for My Cousin Vinny to work with, so it's impossible.
That's fine. That trailer pretty much summed up everything we needed to know, so it worked.
All right, so stream is over, everyone. See you.
Yeah, okay. See you later. It's been fun.
Bye.
How you doing today, my friend? My feline friend.
Good. I'm doing good, man. What about yourself?
You know, it's been a little crazy at work, but you know, this makes it all better being here.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, talking about this film with actually people from all over in terms of, you know, I'm obviously you're my partner here, and the we got people coming over from Mr. Brown Alliance nowadays. We have Reni today, and we have, you know, other guys that I've streamed with in the past. It's kind of we're crossing the streams, so to say. So
it's a melting pot of streams.
Pot of streams, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So instead of me just sitting here and talking about how great these people are, why don't we bring them on and let them prove me right or wrong? How's that sound?
Let's
do that. I'm going to start with Blue Collar Loser, I think, because you know, if I'm going to be proven wrong, it's probably going to be with this guy.
Oh yeah, I got to broadcast this thing. It's awesome.
How you been, my friend?
Oh my God, just like you, busy, man. You know, busy seems like I'm working 7 days a week, and you know, if anybody sees this, remember you said, hey, like, do you like My Cousin Vinny? And I'm like, I'm like insulted you even asked that question. Like,
well, technically, I needed to bring somebody from New York on. You're not from the city, but close enough.
True, yeah. I still have to get the accent. So
I'll probably slip into it from time to time.
Yeah,
while we're watching this, but
no, you guys have to. I tried doing the accent. I can't do that shit.
What is a Ute? It's funny because I'm actually way closer to New York City than
that's true.
Chris is, so it's you know.
Well, like I told you, and people know, man. New York State, people think who aren't from New York State think the city is the epicenter, which it is. But this state is freaking like from the bottom to the top is like a 6-hour drive. Which
it's one of the larger states. So
so
well,
America is huge.
I just got to say this: it's good to have you on, man. While he breaks his teeth,
oh.
You know, a dark blue production once again. We haven't done one of these in a while.
I know.
But speaking of which, you know, there's usually another guy in one of our dark blue productions, so I think I should bring him in next.
Let's do it.
Stupenzo.
Legend.
Greetings, fellow paisans. How are y'all?
He's our resident Italian today, everybody.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Italian, New York. So
standard diversity hire.
Of course, man. That's why you're getting the big bucks. You know, to be honest.
Yeah, you know. And I thought I should, you know, dress the part, slick my hair back, put on my glasses, and my Tony Soprano shirt.
Couldn't find your gold chain, you said, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
At the chest here,
somewhere.
Yeah.
I
mean, you need the gabagool.
Gabagool.
Gabagool to you too, sir. Gabagool to you as well.
How you doing today, my friend? Feel like I haven't talked to you in so long. I mean, what's it been like 9 hours since we talked?
Yeah. I'm wrapping up my stupid Schlocktober thing. It's fun. But yeah, it's great to be on one of these streams where I get to drink coffee instead of booze in the middle of the night.
I'll drink enough for both of us. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll do both.
Why not? Some people like to put booze in their coffee. So
I got my booze in my my little Playmate cooler that everyone has, right? You see that,
especially in the back of your Buick Skylark convertible.
Right. I got one of them too. It's fun. So yeah, I'm excited about this movie. I love it. It's one of those things where I rewatch it again and still get a little happy tears in your eyes at the end, even though it's been so many times you've seen the movie. It's so good.
I laugh at it every time. And that's the best part.
True definitions of setups and payoffs.
Anyway. Oh yeah.
However, before we get into our background with the movie, I do have one more person I got to bring in. She, you know, she's been called the queen of the Mr. Brown Alliance, and I guess since she's extending her power, that would make her the empress of this channel. So we're just gonna go with that, I guess. So we're gonna bring in Empress Reni.
The
What's up,
Empress.
Ren?
Good afternoon, everyone.
So
How's
your
everybody
second
doing?
appearance on the channel, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
very delighted and honored to be here. I love Joe Pesci and I love this movie as an Italian American. You know, I don't mind the stereotypes, so bring it on. No big deal.
I didn't even
It's
realize you
so
were
funny.
Italian. I didn't.
Me
Did you
neither.
have to go get Stupenzo?
I thought it was like, what are the odds that I'm the only guy here that's Italian? There's no way. I mean, I know Chris. I know blue collar is like half a Native American. Actually, I found out.
I'm a mutt. I did DNA test. I got like 9 different genetics in me.
Well, everybody does. So
But
Yeah.
we have enough Italian representation now to
That's
do
right.
this movie correct.
I also
All right.
have to represent Australia because my husband's Australian. So there's
Oh yeah,
that.
there is a rumor that you are married. I've heard
Yes.
this rumor.
I know. Despite what you've heard, it is true.
Fun fact: all
That's
my
right.
Italian relatives live in Australia
Oh.
because there was this little thing in the 1940s you might have heard of. It's called World War II. No big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, my great uncle Lucio and all my grandmother's brothers, they all left Italy in the 40s, and yeah, they all been in Australia for generations. They got weird accents.
Yeah,
That's
the
Oh, that's
Australian
weird.
accent.
No,
I don't
mine
even
all
want to attempt that one.
mine all live here. Actually, my uncle Tony lives like 5 hours from me.
Tony.
Like they're all in the
Tony,
US.
yeah.
Sweet.
Literally his name.
Tony.
That's right.
So yeah, the first thing I always love to start with is I want everybody to tell their background with this film, like when they remember seeing it the first time, all that stuff, you know. So we'll start with Chris since he's muted.
You know, it's one as I open a soda and one. It's one of the films where it's weird how as you hit 20, 30, 40. This film came out when I think because you and me are roughly the same age, about when I was 10. And it's just one of the films where I swear I remember just seeing it my whole life, and everybody I knew loved this film. And I watched it again last night in preparation at midnight for the first time in like 15 years. And the old cliche, whenever you watch an older film, you're scared, does it age well? Is it offensive? I still think there's nothing that couldn't be said in 2023, but Jesus Christ, I forgot. Like last night I was driving, laughing harder at this than most comedies I've seen in the past decade. And just a master class in acting from Vinny to, of course, Marisa Tomei, but the supporting cast, the judge, I truly forgot, how good this film actually is. Like it's fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah, I can't agree more with that. How about you, Stupenzo?
I watched a lot of movies. I mean, I'm 37, so like I can remember this movie coming out when I was a little kid, and there were a lot of movies I watched.
I was 5, I think, when this movie came out. So.
Yeah, my parents were cool with me watching all kinds of horror movies and Tales from the Crypt and From Dusk Till Dawn and all this shit. But like, there were a lot of movies that like I would watch vicariously because they're watching it, like Pulp Fiction. I remember they were watching Pulp Fiction when I was a kid. I wasn't into it. I was like, I don't want to see this. And then when I got older, I was like, oh, this is a good movie. And then same thing with my cousin Vinny. My mother and father were laughing their ass off at this boring court movie. I must have been like, what, 10 years old? I don't want to see this. I want to see vampires and shit.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, I think it's like, middle school, high school. I started just like diving deep into DVDs and renting videos from Blockbuster and, Hollywood Video all the time. And it's just one of those movies that gets better every time you watch it as you get older. It's just, I mean, it's also one of those movies that could be a play. Just because, like, it's just, but it's not a play. It's not based on a play because it's a lot of locations and stuff. But, it's just one of those quaint little. I think this movie and The Son-in-Law are like great, like sisters. Even though obviously my cousin Vinny's a lot better, but they both have this like fish out of water, small town vibe. They got that same actor, the prosecuting attorney.
I don't even know that guy's name actually.
Yeah, big old chomper teeth guy. Yeah, you know his name. Eyebrows. That face, that fella. But yeah, it's just one of those movies that's like Italian stereotypes. Some of them we don't mind. The idea that Joe Pesci's this fast-talking lawyer with a heart of gold and all this stuff. I mean, it's like you start to appreciate other aspects about this movie. Like in my most recent viewing, you realize like, all a man needs is the love of a beautiful woman. He can just do anything. That's kind of what I was getting this next time around. Every time you watch it, it's like new stuff.
Imagine that.
Wonderful dialogue, though. Just everything's set up in dialogue. Everything's just, it all pays off. It's all great. It's fun.
Yeah. Well said.
Another fine sum up. It doesn't leave much for you to work with, Reni, but tell us what you got.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I also saw this movie as a youngin' and didn't get a lot of the humor back then, but I I fell in love with it because, I've always loved Joe Pesci. And I don't know why he's just got that certain charisma that, draws you in. And, Marissa Tomei, I think I saw her in this cheesy movie called Oscar with Sylvester Stallone. And I was like, oh my God, she's in it. I just don't see how this could be good. But I actually loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I like the whole like tough guy act that happens in it. And it's like, oh, not so tough, are you? Not so tough. And I love the fact that it has Herman Munster in it. So I forget his name, but I just know he's
Fred
Munster.
Gwynn.
Thank you.
Gwynn.
So I love that. I think he does a great job in it. And they try to do a good job of trying to not make Joe Pesci seem so short because Fred Gwynn was pretty tall.
And Joe Pesci is 5'3". Fred Gwynn was 6'6" or 6'7".
Yeah,
she's right.
He was huge. So I was like, "There's no way
you can only
they're
really
that
see the
close
difference
in
between the
height."
one scene, actually.
Yeah.
At the very end is really the only time you really see the huge height differential.
Yeah, and they did well trying to mask it, but we all know he was a big dude. So I've always enjoyed it. Yes, it's got a lot of Italian stereotypes, but that's part of why we like it. Hey, if Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei are okay with acting out those stereotypes as Italian Americans, then so be it. So I thought it was really
and Ralph
great.
Macchio. Ralph Macchio is
Ralph Macchio as well.
The eternally youthful Ralph Macchio.
I met him in
He's like 40 years old in this
2019.
movie.
I met him in like 2019. That dude is tiny as well. He's skinny and
not
he's
a big
short.
guy. Not a big guy.
Damn.
But he looks pretty good for his age, So
the
he was
funny part
promoting
is,
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, speaking of Cobra Kai, so you the guy who plays Terry Silver in Cobra Kai and Karate Kid 3 is actually younger than him.
Exactly.
So like looks
so
like 30
old.
years older than him though. It's like crazy.
That's why, like in Karate Kid 3, they rewrote, the romance out because like their age difference between the actresses was not appropriate.
Wait, Ralph Macchio is 61 years old,
right?
Yeah,
he was like
looks
30.
great.
He was like
61.
30 or something when he was doing this Karate Kid movies. Dude.
Don't
It's
worry.
amazing.
There's a picture of me and him from a couple of years ago, and you'll see he looks pretty much younger than me still. And I'm 35 at the time of the picture. I think I was 33 or 32. So you'll see.
Reni, what are your favorite Joe Pesci movies? Since you're such a huge fan.
It's Reni, by the way. But
I'm sorry.
really love.
What did he say? What did you say?
Reni.
He said
Reni.
Reni.
I don't know.
Reni.
You are totally fine. Of course, I know this is very, very, very off of his typical thing, but I do love him in Home Alone. But I also loved him in Goodfellas. And
I'm sorry, Reni, hold on 1 second. I have to point this out. This is a great one from Jay Goodwin. I think Ralph Macchio was actually older than Pat Morita. Sorry. I'm sorry. I had to cut you off for that one. Go on. You said Goodfellas. Sorry.
Yeah, I love him in Goodfellas. I love the Home Alone movies. Like, I just feel like he could pull off a lot of stuff. I loved him in the Lethal Weapon movies, like as Leo. He cracked me up every time, especially in the third one when he talked about what they do to you in the hospital. That gets me every time.
In the third one, right?
Yes, he had
like,
that blonde hair
thing.
Because they made him get like a. What did they give him? I think some sort of colonoscopy or something, and they was talking about how they fuck you in the hospital and this, that, and the other. And it was just a great speech.
I forgot he was in those movies.
Yeah, dude. Leo is a great character, man. He's so funny.
Part two,
I love the Tales from the Crypt episode with him where he's got those two twin girls who are obsessed with him and he pretends to have a twin brother. And he's like dating the two girls at once.
I've never seen that. I'm gonna have to go watch that now.
It's amazing.
I should have asked you if there was a Tales from the Crypt episode with Joe Pesci. Yeah, you're like my resident Tales from the Crypt expert. Yeah. So,
did you guys ever watch Saturday Night Live? Some of the older episodes. I want to say they're from the 90s, early 2000s, where they had this little skit. It was the Joe Pesci show,
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer and I forget who that. And then so they portrayed Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, and then Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro actually came on the show, and I just died laughing. I was like, oh my god.
What about Joe Pesci in that Moonwalker movie that Michael Jackson did, where he's like trying to sell
my cousin Vinny? We're just going to talk about Joe Pesci's career. We're just going to
just for a minute. I love Joe Pesci. The guy's. I mean, this was like technically his first big movie that he starred in, and it made profit. My cousin Vinny. I mean,
that really tore my heartstrings that I did not think he was going to be good in was what was the one where he was a mentor with honors?
Yeah.
Like, so
Brendan Fraser?
that one
Fraser.
was a surprising, like, great performance from him, even though he gives great performances, but that was an amazing performance. Just a quick honorable nod.
Yeah, he like steals Brendan Fraser's research paper and like holds it ransom in exchange
And
for
starts
room and
burning
board.
it in the furnace.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Speaking of good movies, should we get along to the fantastic movie that we've been assembled to talk about?
Let's
Yes,
do
please.
it.
Could do a whole could do a Joe Pesci stream.
I'd love to do a Joe Pesci stream, but specifically we prepped for one movie for this one.
That's right. We're bogging down. We got to bog back up.
Bog it up.
Yeah. I mean, Dark Hour. What was your first experience with My Cousin Vinny?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot that we didn't even give ours. Mine is pretty much the same. I was young. I was probably about like 4 or 5 when the movie came out, so I don't think I saw it until a few years later. Maybe I was like 8. And it didn't make super like a ton of sense to me. Like, you know, what's an 8-year-old like? Oh yeah, I didn't even realize why they were on trial, because they don't really show, like at one point they show the dead body, but they just kind of say it, and it's like they never really super drive home what happened until like the actual testimony at the end.
Yeah.
And so to me, it was just like this weird fish out of water Italians in the South movie. It was just like, what would happen if you took New Yorkers and just dropped them into weird situations?
Yeah.
And I think there's actually like, you know, there's actually potential for a whole series of that, where they could have just did this with multiple states.
Yeah.
Just drop them in the middle of like really like hypersensitive, like San Francisco at the time. Obviously now it's a little bit hypersensitive San Francisco and like all these different things. But yeah, it's every time I watch it now, though, there's certain scenes I love and I laugh at every time, but I always seem to find a little nugget I didn't notice last time, which is usually a sign of a very good movie, that there's stuff that's in the script that it takes you 50 times watching a movie to finally be like, hey, wait a minute, I missed that. Mm-hmm. And so it's like it's not like it's a new movie, but there's always a new fold to the movie every time I watch it. Yeah. And I guess we'll go to Uninspired, who wasn't born when the movie came out.
Shit.
Dude, I wasn't even in the ball sack by then. You know, I was just like a little glint of an atom somewhere. You know,
a twinkle in your daddy's eye.
Not even yet.
Like Stewie.
Well, I mean, yeah, I watched the movie for the first time yesterday, and so I had heard of the movie. I've heard of My Cousin Vinny. I've heard that it's a great movie and everything like that. Even more so when we told everyone that we were doing the stream on it. But so I watched it for the first time yesterday. I really enjoyed it. Watched it again like 2 hours ago. Enjoyed it as well. Also realized some shit that I hadn't on the first watch, and man, it's such a tight script with incredible amounts of like nothing is wasted in the script, which is what I appreciate. And for a movie that's 2 hours, it's almost pretty like like it goes very, very fast. So it's a great watch. It's good on rewatch too. And man, Marisa Tomei is like, Jesus, you know, I thought I had a sexual awakening as a kid, but Marisa
Tomei is like one of those like another one of those like ageless wonders. She hasn't really aged that much over the year. Like she still looks pretty damn like young compared to what she is.
Oh yeah, she looks good today, man. I'm telling you. I wouldn't.
She really
hesitate.
does, especially when she was Aunt May in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, she still looks great.
Oh yeah. I mean, I snuck in a bunch of just frames of Marisa Tomei looking good, so you'll see a lot of that.
Her wardrobe for this movie though was extremely 90s Italian.
It's very stereotyped.
New Yorker chick.
Yeah.
like I remember growing up in this area, and like a lot of women wore clothes like that, and I was like,
they're almost like Asian inspired or something.
Yeah, and then I'd go out of like the area, and I'd be like, wait, they don't dress like that everywhere? That's just like, okay, that's just like a New York, New Jersey thing. That's fine.
We didn't dress like that at the West Coast or in the South. Sorry to disappoint.
Apparently not.
It's so hot out here in Texas, man.
You ready?
Yeah, well, let me just
now to those of you who are new to the channel, we're going to go through some slides, some clips, talk about them, all that stuff. Well, that's for both the guests and for anybody who might be watching this for the first time.
Yeah, who's not familiar with the movie?
Don't worry. Blue Collar Loser will be, or Blue Collar Vinny, sorry, will be extremely drunk by the end of this. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll take care of him, man. We'll take care of him.
Actually, the accents are quite accurate. Actually, yeah, I've fought my whole life to not talk like that, so it's hard for me to slip back into it. But
especially from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brooklyn especially.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so just before we start, we're gonna say hello to everyone in the chat. We can see you. Thank you guys for stopping by and spending your Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on which time zone you're in, with us on Tube.
Oh wait, I can leave comments too. Ha ha ha.
Some people are actually, and some people are already tomorrow. So
and well,
if
for
you're
you
in
people
Australia
of the future,
or New Zealand, yeah.
And we have some fans in Australia. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, good luck with the spider stuff over there, because I know damn well I'm alive in Australia.
Don't even get my husband started on spiders.
I'm telling you, I'd walk around.
You love spiders?
Yeah, he's from as an Aussie, he's like, oh, I don't see how they're a big deal. I'm like, what? He used to
big deal. I mean, some of them eat birds.
Uninspired has a phobia.
He's like, if you don't hurt them, they won't hurt you. Like he used to keep huntsmen as pets and daddy longlegs and stuff. He's a weirdo, but
yeah. Wait, I'd ask my Aunt Rosalie about those funnel web spiders, and she'd be like, "Hey, yeah, you just step on them." It's just like, what?
Step on them? They literally attack your feet. It's like
they can literally bite through your shoes. It's like, yeah, step on them with your bare foot.
Whatever. Yeah, but they're better than the whitetail ones. Those are supposed to be the worst. So
welcome to Arachnophobia stream, everybody.
Yeah. Uninspired. Jesus, check this out. If the funnel web spider sees you in your own kitchen, it'll like rear up and start chasing you. It literally is super aggressive. They're very mean.
The kitchen will be for it now. That's it. Like, I'm done. I'm leaving the house. I'm leaving the least.
Just burn the house down. It's the second most venomous spider on the planet too. Second only to the Brazilian wandering spider, which ends up in America, might I add.
Yeah, they hide in banana bunches.
Yep,
they also cause priapism too.
Yes, yeah, but we also have the brown recluse, which kills your flesh. So that's fun.
Necrotic venom. Yeah. Yep.
We have
enjoy. Good night, uninspired. Good night, uninspired. Enjoy your sleep.
And you guys are
we have gone off the rails already.
Spiders are just like cool to live with. Oh fuck no, man!
I like spiders.
No, dude, they're not welcome in this house. I'll tell you that much.
Hell, they're not welcome anywhere near me, man. I'm telling you.
I am
used
one
to
with
just
nature.
Walk around with,
he's a cat. He hates spiders.
Freshener. I'm telling you,
Marisa Tomei also causes priapism. I agree.
Yeah.
Which might I add, she's in this movie that we should be talking about.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, let's get going.
All right,
Enough
let's
about
go.
spiders.
It's a Jonathan Lynn film. Yeah, there you go. And just before we start, I realized that there were so many fucking Dutch angles in this movie.
Yeah,
which is really weird because the cinematographer I looked up, it's Peter Deming, and he made Evil Dead 2, Lost Highway, Scream 2, 3, and 4.
Nice.
Most recently, The Menu, and he also did Drag Me to Hell and Mulholland Drive. So,
wow,
it is a talented person behind the camera that's doing it. Although I didn't see
my two favorite Lynch movies.
Oh yeah, I mean, I rarely watch Lynch movies, but fuck, my cousin Vinny. Yeah, we're getting sidetracked, man. It's Ralph Macchio.
That's exactly the same as he did in Karate Kid, right there. Just a little heavier.
He looks so young in this movie.
He does, and if you didn't know that they were off to university, well, maybe all of the stuff behind you.
That's the red plate. I think everybody at some point in their life has owned that exact cooler.
Well, everybody over 25 years old probably.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I haven't ever seen a Playmate cooler before.
Yeah, right.
I mean, my parents had one, but I refused to ever get one. So.
It's like a remnant.
That's
I don't remember. Are they driving away or toward the camera at this point?
So they're driving away from the camera.
Okay,
so
I was going to say, because that's the worst placed sign I've ever seen. If it's facing the wrong direction.
Please.
Yeah, I had to do a double take on that one too.
So they're entering Alabama, and nothing says Alabama like dirt for sale, peaches.
Well, actually, peaches are usually more associated with Georgia, but
yes.
Well,
yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of Georgia stuff in this movie.
Free horse manure,
Yeah,
that's the one that they laugh at too.
Then directed by Jonathan Lynn, and here we are at Stack of Suds, which is like Sack of the South.
Sack of suds. Suds.
Yeah, I mean,
like soapy suds.
So I don't know anybody from Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know
Apparently-
anyone from Alabama either.
Yeah, apparently Professor R2 himself is actually from Alabama. So you could be our Alabama representation.
How do you say
Forrest
someone
Gump?
from Alabama? Like Alabamies?
Alabaman, I would assume.
Alabama?
Is how you would say.
The
Alabaman.
Alabamanese.
Alabamanese.
I just this movie was filmed in Georgia for the most part, though. So like when you see like the peaches signs and all this stuff, it's like, Georgia. Oh well. Alabama it shall be.
And yeah, Sack of Suds in French, it means, stack of the South, basically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
here it just means absolutely nothing because they don't they don't sell soap or anything there. So it's like a convenience store.
So I mean, you've got we're introduced to Billy and Stan, who are in the convenience store, and they're getting all their items. They're getting their tuna because they need protein, of course. And
there's protein in beans.
Shoplifting some of this stuff, though, right?
Beans make you fart, though.
Well, yeah, beans do make you fart, but hey, he's got a convertible, so it's cool. But yeah, so he accidentally steals tuna, which hell, he was about to get robbed for the slushy because look at the serving that they gave him.
In all honesty, I was watching it this most recent time, and I was like, you know what? He deserved to get killed. He tried to rip him off for that damn slushy.
That's
He
right.
filled that thing halfway. That's why I prefer when you go into a store and you fill your own slushy, you put the cap on it beforehand, and you fill that shit like a volcano coming out of the top.
The worst part is that he filled it halfway, but on the machine you can clearly say it says like fill to the top. So he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So so they escape and they just leave the fucking store with tuna, and they get stopped over by the police because something happened and they're arrested. But we finally get to know what happened. So the store clerk was killed, shot dead, as they say. So
But it's so funny because they think they're being arrested for shoplifting. And like, oh my God, they really take this so seriously. And I think it was his friend that was like, you know what, they do medieval rules here and we'll be locked up forever or like hung. And I'm like, dude.
Do you know what what is it he says? He says
the age of the
age for execution.
Yeah, it's like 10.
Speaking of $10 super chat from Wes Kelly.
Oh no!
A year in federal joint in Talladega. Drink. I'll get something to drink. You know what? I'll drink the thing that he himself, Wes Kelly, sent me. So that's what I'm gonna drink.
Hey,
I just had coffee,
dude. I'm drinking H2O, the best.
Oh God!
Thank you for your super chat, Wes. And thank you for the
thanks, Wes.
The bourbon.
Thank you, Wes. And yeah, so I mean, like Billy and Stan are just really funny just from the get go, and you can tell that they're friends. You can tell that they've been through a lot, which is just really really funny. And their on screen dynamic is just so good. So I'm sure the actors were having a really fun time behind the camera too.
Yeah, they had a good chemistry together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so they finally get booked, and the sheriff is speaking to them, and Billy does cooperate because, of course, they still think that the can of tuna is the reason, and they're trying to get Stan for aiding and abetting. Which
I love the hand motion that he does.
Is that all
too.
they stole though? Was one can of tuna?
Yeah, everything else they paid for.
Funny.
I love
they
the
thought they were
hand motion that Ralph Macchio does, where he's like, I didn't really think it out, just bam, it just happened. It was just like, and he just happens to point at his pocket, but that's where like the guy was shot.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just, this is basically a masterclass of like just coincidences happening.
Happenstances.
Yeah, happenstances.
Yeah, man. I mean, it takes like a play out of old French books, because the books that I used to study in high school, a lot of them had like the main instance where the comedy would come from was I don't know how you call it in English, but I think it's the same. It's a quiproquo. No,
quid pro quo. Quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo. I don't know if it has the same meaning.
Yeah.
This for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a phrase we've inherited.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, it's not really the same meaning. It's like misunderstandings in French.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Oh, okay.
And so like so like the entire story is just a bunch of massive misunderstandings, and so like it really reminded me of the stuff that I used to study back in high school. right? Which wasn't long ago.
One of the things right off the bat that's always it bothers me for a good reason, because essentially the whole situation would cause a mistrial, because they're not they're never read they're never told what they're confessing to. So he's essentially says, like, the only thing the sheriff says is, you know why you're here, and he goes, yeah, I know why I'm here. And then it would be on, like, the sheriff would have to disclose it no matter what. You can't just take the word of the person, because then it could be a mistrial.
Yeah, the idea that you'd be booked that long or in custody that long without knowing what you're being arrested for is like ridiculous. And obviously, like, they had to like make a bunch of ridiculous happenstances and insane coincidences take place for the trial to be a thing. I mean, that's like the whole crux of the movie. So, well, willing to forgive it for that silliness.
When the sheriff accuses Billy of shooting the clerk, he's like, I shot the clerk. And it's like, it's a question, but it's brought in as a confession statement. It's like, but he's asking, I shot the clerk, not I shot the clerk with conviction. So
that's by really far weird. My favorite line of his, by the way, is when he goes, whoa, wait a minute.
Why'd you do it?
I
shot boredom.
Yeah.
You okay?
No, small cold, which is alcohol help and kill it. So
that's how it works.
Exactly.
So this is the moment where they realize that they're fucked and they have their phone call. And so let me just play the clip of when they call his mother.
You know how corrupt it is down here? They all know each other.
It's like the clans here. They're inbred. They sleep with their sisters. Some of them do.
Ma, didn't do it.
And it's like, so they finally get Vinny on the phone, and Vinny.
No, they don't get Vinny. No, it's
they
the
don't get him on the phone.
Yeah, I know, but like eventually they get Vinny on the phone to and
And this was back when they had to boots. This was during the era when they had to basically say the title of the film at some point in the film. That's
to
why
remind you.
Like, oh, my cousin Vinny.
Just like Terminator talks about Terminators.
Yeah. What would be some good alternate titles for this movie? I couldn't even think of one. I mean, good Lord, My Cousin Vinny.
I'm sure they had a working title before they had that.
Italian lawyer guy. No, just kidding.
Something like a family affair could probably.
There you go.
Yeah,
be a good one that they'd find actually. So yeah, man, he appears with the cowboy boots. The music is blasting. Look at it, it's Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Ray-Bans. Do you think he's wearing the boots like he wears those boots in New York, or do you think he bought those boots because he's going down south?
Nah, he bought them because he's going down south.
I think
That's what I thought.
It's implied that he bought them for this trip.
I can't see that guy dressed in Brooklyn like that. There's no way.
Yeah, because he says to Marisa Tomei, he's like, at least I have like cowboy boots to fit in.
You blend.
I want to say that's like probably my favorite line in the entire movie, and it's like so early in the film. It's like, you blend.
Yeah.
So she can't stop asking about Chinese food too.
Yeah.
How's your Chinese food?
Mud on the tires.
Mud in the tires.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that? Mud in the tires?
Which
what does that mean?
How many times has Dark Horse said was it payoffs?
Yeah. That's all of it. This is the early setup for so many things.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, the thing is that's great also is that you don't realize that any of this is set up, because most of what happens at the end that he uses to, clear the name of the two defendants is like stuff that he just lived through himself, which is why it doesn't feel like setups at all. It's just naturally in the flow of the story. It just
feels like
things that make sense too. It's things that
feels like normal slice of life banality, and you don't realize you're supposed to be paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. This is like on the second rewatch, I was like, damn, I didn't even realize any of this stuff. Even with the grits, I hadn't caught the lines that they made it clear out. So I was like, oh,
we'll get to that. Don't worry, there's gonna be a lot of talk about grits.
Hominy.
Hominy grits.
We've got the mud in the tires, and what we get is Billy and Stan that are sent to the correctional facility. I think that they're sent there specifically because the driver says something about why
So
they're sent there.
they condemned the local lockup. So like the one
Yeah.
that they would have been held in while they were at
Yes.
trial is no longer eligible to be used.
So they are going to an actual prison, which is crazy. This is why they are separated from all the other, prisoners. Because if anything were to happen to them and they were found innocent, dude, they could sue the shit out of the state.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't really sue. They'd probably be dead, but their families.
But their families, yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's the point. That's why, like, I remember, there's like odd scenes, like why they're playing basketball by themselves and shit like that. It's like, what? It's because, they're not supposed to be there. Yeah. And it's like one offhanded line of dialogue the bus driver gives, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh, the jailhouse is condemned right now. Anyway, we're taking you to the prison. Good luck. It's like,
sometimes they're like, I'm usually not too in favor of like throwaway lines like that, but in that instance, it's really good because it's not. They don't need to show the building being condemned. That would have just slowed down the movie. There's usages and non-usages for that.
Yeah, the problem with such a tight script, though, I mean, luckily it's a short movie, but it's like you can't cut anything. You cannot cut any lines of this movie because you'll lose some of these setups and exposition and stuff. It's like,
Yeah, I love the whole '90s Stan saying, "What if they put some big black guy named Bubba with us?" And that pays off in coming up, which is
right here.
Fucking hilarious. I was laughing.
Okay. Preface this. This is by far my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about the scene, let me just play the clip.
Yes.
So, let's try our best to make it a simple in and out procedure. It's either me or them. You're getting fucked one way or the other. Hey.
You think I should be grateful?
Yeah. I mean, it's your ass, not mine. I did not come down here just to get jerked off,
No. I'm not jerking you off.
I love that so much because he thinks he's there to rape him. And
grape him. Grape.
Sorry.
Got demonetized. I know it.
That's my fault.
It's almost funny though, like Darko was saying, Joe Pesci, I get the fact that he's only 5'3", but he's one of the guys where he proves he has a very commanding presence because in all fairness, Stan's way bigger than him. And Joe Pesci doesn't come off. It's like if a guy like The Rock came in, I can understand being afraid. But Joe Pesci's a small fucking dude, and Stan's scared he's about the,
He's an Italian tough guy, and I like that scene with him and that guy in the pool bar later. And we'll talk about that one later. But so I mean, I can see why Stan would be afraid of him. It's like, oh crap.
That's what I like about guys like Darko knows this when it comes to fighting. It's not always the fucking dude. It looks like The Rock or like, a Henry Cavill. Sometimes you can be Joe Pesci size and be a dominant figure.
I know a lot of guys who are Joe Pesci size who can kick the shit out of most people.
Yeah.
So
Napoleon complexes. They're strong.
Yes, sir.
Napoleon. Here's the other thing.
Guys who are in the 5'3" to 5'5" range are really, really, really good fighters.
You also have to be crazy scared of ugly guys because they got nothing to lose. They're not afraid to fight. Like real handsome guys,
I've been there.
They're mostly all talk because they don't want to mess up their pretty face. Joe Pesci, he's like, I don't care. Go ahead. Go crazy on this thing. I don't care. I'm a weird looking dude. Love it.
Oh yeah, it's like I just like Joe Pesci too, which is why I feel like him in Home Alone is just such a good fix because it's like he's small, intimidating, but it works so well in comedic movies too. I mean, even all the mafia movies that he's made with Scorsese, he still is funny, but it's not like the center of it. Yeah.
And only stupid Marv would be dumb enough to follow Harry around all the time like that from Home Alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because you've edited the scene considerably, and it's like even like every line back and forth like is like enforcing the double entendre. It's so good.
Yeah, he has a couple more. He's like, I think you should be grateful. I think you should be down on your fucking knees.
Yeah. And it's like, oh dang, I might have to blow him.
This scene was also almost edited because it's not accurate, I mean, the lawyer would never meet you out here.
Yeah, a lot of these things were kind of like essentially redone for cinematic purposes. Yeah, you wouldn't. The lawyer would meet him in a room that's sequestered off. Right here, exactly.
Yeah.
Even
you show a scene of like Vinny giving the guard like some money, so that kind of explains it because like you have to work that scene back in somehow.
And that's so that's probably the most Italian thing he does in this whole movie is he just hands random money to people whenever they do stuff for him. Like I love that. I've known like years ago I dated probably the most Italian person I've ever met in my life. And I went to one of their weddings and it was literally there was like a jar of just straight up cash in the middle of the table. Like people were just walking up and just dropping $100 bills right into the jar. I was like, I remember thinking to myself, wow, they really do that shit. They just randomly just throw cash at things. Like,
You know, I have to notice this scene right here. You notice Ralph Macchio, if you guys can do a screenshot there, his little bullshit mustache is gone now. He's got like a 2-inch mustache until this scene. It's weird.
Yeah, man. I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah, check it out.
Possibly a reshoot thing.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because the scene does seem a bit tacked on. I mean, it's not really it doesn't give you anything except for they're basically just questioning his competence, and so he says like, oh, 3rd time's the charm. No, for me, 6 times the charm. It's like, yeah.
Which some states actually have a limit on how many times you could take the bar. I actually looked it up.
I
New York
can
is not
imagine.
one of them. New York, you can take it as many times as you want within reason. There's like they can overrule it if you take it like 10 times and you finally and like out of nowhere you've like doubled your score on the 10th time or something. They can say no, it's invalid. But for the most part, a lot of states don't have it, but some do.
Man, I mean, I could imagine that you'd had a limit because I mean, Jesus, you get your shit together. You know, you're gonna be a lawyer.
It's not really easy to pass the bar, is it?
I heard it's really hard. So.
That is
almost everybody fails their first time, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
Very
you
few
want to
people
have a
pass the
good
bar the
lawyer.
first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I mean, that's all they do in this scene is that they confront his expertise on the thing, and so this is where we finally meet Judge
Herman
Chamberlain.
Munster.
Oh yeah,
Fred Gwynn, and this dude is fucking huge, man.
Yes.
I don't go down that road. Yeah, I love him in Salem's Lot and Herman Munster. It's funny. It's
I forgot he was in Salem's Lot.
Also, Pet Cemetery.
My uncle's Rich Patrick.
Oh.
So the Munsters in general just have a special place in my heart, you know.
Oh yeah. Fucking South Park, God damn it. With the milkman in Bane.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, old Fred Gwynn. What's really funny is like there's this constant like I'm gonna give you a hard time because you're from New York.
Yeah,
but it's weird because like Gwynn is actually from New York and Joe Pesci's not the actors. So little fun fact.
That actually would also be grounds for a mistrial. Is that the judge is really just there to facilitate a fair trial.
Yeah,
it's not his. He doesn't make the decisions. That's the jury. You know, he's not there to argue. He's just there to make sure the rules and procedures are followed as proper and not show any bias. If you show any bias, you can a mistrial can be declared. And he shows bias the entire time. Like start.
Well, I think like 75 to 80% of the time he finally goes, oh, maybe this dude does have a little bit of something that I didn't see before, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, he still brushes him off. Like there's literally a scene after where he's like, "Oh yeah, you finally conducted yourself well. That was a good argument." And then, but like objection, you know, like that's it. So he clearly, he's like objection overruled. So he clearly does have a bias. Which I mean, it's weird because it's something that they bring up towards the beginning of the movie of like everyone trying to have a bias where this is all a conspiracy to just get them in prison.
Yeah,
but once you reach the end of the movie, it's like all of that just dissipated, which is weird.
Well, there's a certain point where it's like it's pretty obvious that like it can't possibly be these kids, and they have to like come to grips with the fact that they are actually all the people who thought that it was that they're kind of the villain in their own narrative. They
legitimately thought that those kids were confessing to this crime. All right. They're just kind of stupid, you know? I mean, everything was just a big misunderstanding, like Uninspired said. But yeah, it's one of those things where like nobody's actually like a villain in this movie, which is also pretty neat.
So now I think the closest thing to a villain would have to be would probably be like you don't even see them. It's the guys.
There's a little bit of butting heads, and that's about it.
But when it comes to that, like, you know, they have to shed that. They have to shed their preconceived notions.
Yeah.
And there is like, you know, a certain point where even like you said, like I think Reni said it, that the judge kind of realizes, hey, I'm being kind of unfair here. Like, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, when presented with overwhelming evidence, of course. Yeah.
I do like the tone it sets up the rest of the film, how this judge is going to be. Is that like, because obviously Alabama has a certain way of doing things, and in New York is not always, big cities do things differently than small towns. And that's why he's trying to tell Vinny that, listen, you may do things in a big city, but you're not in a big city no more, son.
There's a song about that caused a little controversy recently. We have that queued up. Oh no, we don't.
But yeah, well, exactly like Blue Collar said, and that's what the judge just informs him of, and he also gives him the Alabama Rules of Criminal Procedure book that he's holding in his hand right then. And then you've got Joe Pesci trying to talk his way in, saying that he's a big hotshot lawyer who's been working for 16 years, that he defended an axe murderer and the
and the original son of Sam.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, because he's just like a personal injury lawyer, and he's just trying to make himself sound like he's worthy of this case. But I understand he was intimidated.
How long have you been in practice? Almost 16 years.
Yeah.
I just love the way like Fred Gwynn's like eyes lit up when he said "son of Sam." He's like, "So you defended him?" It's like, no,
the fellow who took orders to kill people from his dog. You defended him? No, not exactly. The first guy they arrested. And I love when he questions the law school he went to. He's like, I went to Brooklyn Law. And he's like, oh yeah, and he looks up. It's Yale is where is where the judge went to. It's like
his first question is like, is that accredited school? Like,
but yeah. So then after that, after giving him all the information, they go to their motel, and this is where we see Mona Lisa express her first her desire to help in the case. So. I mean, that is set up. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, too. And it is understandable, that is your fiance. She probably has, she knows her worth, and she knows. I mean, it's Marisa Tomei, man. What the fuck are you going to expect?
Yeah.
She looks good. And that same night, they're woken up by the steam whistle.
It's even kind of funny as she's talking to Vinny in the background, they're playing Stand By Your Man.
Oh, I never even noticed that.
I'm watching that with the captions on. The captions are showing "Stand By Your Man." Like shit.
Yeah, I mean that is like the huge central underlying theme for me for this movie is just like the support structure that they have for each other. Just like how a man willing to better himself and improve his life and his career, because his fiance is demanding it. It's just like absolutely.
I mean, hell, if my fiance was Marisa Tomei, I'd be doing anything. Dude, I'm telling you. Oh yeah, I mean, even bro, even more now, so now.
But she's also hot, but she's also half his age. It's like, what is I want to see the story about how they got together. I really need to know.
Yeah, what is she doing with him?
So I mean, that is like
they
a good
sort
thing
of imply where they met is her father's garage because he works there. Which. That raises a whole separate set of questions, but it's implied that he's worked there while he was going through law school and stuff. And she, because it's a family business, he's close to that family, and that's how it happened. I'm guessing he's friends with her brother or something. That was originally.
Well, point is, that she loves Vinny for what's inside of him. She loves him for the man. I don't think she's into it because of his looks or his age or his money.
Nope.
Plus his
that is one thing that was a bit jarring for me when I was watching the movie because as someone who didn't know the plot or anything like that, had only seen the poster, and I see My Cousin Vinny. So this is before I watched the trailers, everything. Just from what I had heard, I initially thought that Joe Pesci was gonna be her cousin, and she was gonna be in the trial or something.
Yeah, I know what. I'll give this to you. I will give this to you. It does take place in Alabama, so you might not have been that far off.
But yeah, honestly, it's because even till now, the age difference for me is really jarring. It's I mean, have you seen her too? It's like Jesus, man.
I mean, how old was she when this movie came out? I don't even know.
20 something easily.
She was born in 64, I think. So 64? Yeah, she was late 20s.
Yeah.
Damn.
He would have been in his 40s probably.
Yeah.
50s.
I mean, I think this movie would definitely lose. Imagine if this movie was recast with an average looking woman, or even let's say Kathy Bates was this character. I don't think obviously there. Let's see. I'm serious though. I know it'd be lacking on the eye candy, but I think emotionally the movie would still hit just as hard. I think she's a great. They'd only reference the fact that she's hot once, maybe in the court
They
when
do.
she says
I mean,
Joe
they-
Pesci's like, she's pretty cute, huh? Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
they don't have
you just
to.
have to edit. You just have to edit that line out. Like, there's
All
nobody
I
ever
can
like
think of now, all I can think of is
Kathy
Kathy
Bates.
Bates,
Oh,
And
no,
Joe
don't
Pesci
do
getting
it.
it
Don't
on?
do it.
specifically
About Schmidt.
from the Water Boy.
Oh,
Oh,
Being like,
oh, that's
you're
were
gonna
going.
you playing that
lose your big
foosball?
trial because and we ain't gonna have no babies because lawyering is the devil.
yeah. I always think of About Schmidt where she gets naked in that hot tub with Jack Nicholson. Hello, enjoy it in your mental head projections. There you go.
Thank goodness I haven't seen that.
Yeah, there
It's
you
a
go.
very good movie. I highly recommend it.
You
It's
don't want to see
amazing.
it.
I
26
think
and
I'm gonna
48.
pass.
Damn.
Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson.
But you know what?
Anyway.
Hey, if Leonardo DiCaprio can do it, Vinny can, or Joe Pesci can do it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And, so yeah, they're awoken by the steam whistle, and this is just like the running gag of Joe Pesci not
Exactly.
being able to sleep.
Yeah.
This is like that movie Insomnia with Al Pacino, where like
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's slowly being
Mm.
driven kind of insane from no sleep.
Yeah.
And now we've got the grits, you know.
and like on this
I just love how they go inside the restaurant. And they're like, oh, let's check the menu. Breakfast.
Yeah.
This actually
guess we'll have
happened to me.
breakfast.
This actually happened to me at a pancake house down in Virginia once, where I went in and it was exactly like that. That was exactly what it was like. And I shit you not, it was loaded with butter, just like they said they do in this. It was like
They
it was
did
like
lard.
this scene. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
lard.
dude,
Like it was just
just
loaded. Like it was.
Keep a lard, man. Just put it
But
on.
it was
the
like,
grits,
I don't think they had dinner though. If I recall correctly, the menu just said breakfast and lunch, but it was
Dude.
like that
For
And you
me,
just
it's-
get what
it's
they're
the way
making
that
for the
they're,
day.
basically.
Yeah.
It's like for
I mean,
me,
they
it's
had
the
other
way that
things you
they-
could
they
choose,
have
but
the
it was
decision,
like
you know?
specials, breakfast and lunch. It just said like specials, and those were the two that were listed. It was like
I'm into it. I'm not a picky eater, guys. I walk in and be like, yeah, surprise me, chef. Chef special, whatever you recommend. I don't care.
Dude, I mean, for what they ate at $1.99, hell yeah, I'd pay that.
Oh man, grits are so gross.
I love grits.
Oh, I hate them.
I've never
They're
had.
so
I've
gross.
never even heard of grits
dude,
until
grits,
yesterday.
dude. How do you guys like your grits? I mean, there's grits. There's many ways to prepare your grits. I mean, maybe you just
Hey,
haven't
Doctor,
had the
look at
better
that.
version of grits.
What do you have
Um,
before I pop it up?
No,
what is-
no. I mean, look at the lard I'm sharing.
I can't pop it up without just everyone seeing it. I need to know I'm not going to get like kicked off of the platform.
no.
Okay,
Oh,
so
it's-
let's just do it. What are you doing?
Is that showing it? Oh, that's weird.
what are we watching here?
It,
We
it
have
won't,
the clip
it-
anyway,
it won't,
don't
it won't show. Okay, sorry.
It's fine.
All right.
Well, it just
but
shows
yeah.
a big thing of lard. It's like a fucking huge spoonful of that shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
ladle
Out of
full
that
of
lard
lard
bucket.
on a
Yeah.
flat top grill. And it's
Like,
funny
have you
because
heard
normally,
of,
like
the
cooking
ongoing
bacon,
cholesterol problem.
yeah, normally just cooking bacon, like it produces the fat right there. You don't really need to add lard.
Well, I think
on
what they
top
were
of that.
what they're implying there is they're the first ones in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was probably
Starting to grill up.
he was greasing up the grill for the whole day.
Okay. I'd
Well,
hope
and
so.
if you've ever eaten at a place like that or a Waffle House, even, which those are disgusting too, but like they are just loaded with grease. Everything is cooked in
Yeah.
grease. It doesn't matter if bacon like bleeds into it or the bacon grease does. They're still gonna like load up the grill with like butter
Yeah.
or lard.
I was gonna say, look at the
I
economy.
like my grits like real buttery though.
Like
so.
Yeah.
$2
Sometimes
for
you-
breakfast. Come on.
Some people like them with sugar, like sweetened. Some people like them like salt and pepper. Some people like them with cheese. I like do the Cajun style shrimp and grits. If you haven't tried, if you don't like
Dude,
grits, I
What
recommend
the fuck
that
are
way.
grits, man? I heard about this
It's-
yesterday.
it's-
I sent you the clip. That's why I sent you the clip.
Yeah, but still,
So
I
it's
was
basically
so
like
confused.
It's like a corn. It's like a corn paste oatmeal, but instead of corn, it's made out of hominy. So it's one of those
The
things where
fuck
it's
is
like
hominy?
hominy is that big white corn that you get in menudo, and you always wonder like what
it's
the fuck?
grainier. It's grainier.
Yeah, it's it's a
when you bite into
grainier,
it-
huge white kernel, and you're like, what is
So-
this good for? You know?
Yeah, so you know
It's
when
good for
you bite into
grits.
corn and it's got that like it's like moist and it like pops in your mouth. Hominy kind of almost like melts into like a grainier kind of feel in your mouth.
Yeah. If you guys
Yeah,
are
I
ever
don't like that.
hungover, get menudo
Wait,
with
that's every day for
hominy
me.
and
No.
cilantro. It'll knock your hangover out like a magic potion.
But
I agree
dude,
with
it's
Princess
like
Fiona.
made from like cow stomach, isn't it?
It's made from tripe. Yes, you're right, but it's
Yeah,
not cow. I
it's-
think
oh,
it's pig tripe. Yeah,
Pig,
it's
yeah.
pig.
It's,
Tripes
the
are
thought
nice,
is just disgusting.
To
My-
to uninspired.
I'm
It's why
into, I'm
Americans
into
are
ethnic
fat.
food. I don't mind.
Man, tripes are cool, man. Like, I mean, I'm half from Chad, and over there they eat that shit. So
this is probably why, because of the way it's processed, is probably why it kind of melts into a grain in your mouth.
Anyway,
so like, what's
grits.
the consistency? Is like oatmeal, right?
Yeah,
sort of.
It's a little,
It's
like a porridge of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what I mean.
But
well, you know what?
There's lots of ways to make it and serve it. And the thing is, I like how you were going through the same thought process as Joe Pesci while you were watching this movie. You didn't know what the hell grits were either. That's awesome.
What is it?
I mean, like the thing is that when you see it on this plate, you don't really see what it is, which is why I was still confused. So, but yeah, let me just play the clip, man. Let's talk about some grits.
What's this over here?
You never heard of grits?
Sure. I heard of grits. I used to actually never seen a grit before.
It's made out of corn. Them hominy grits.
Hominy?
So, you gonna eat it or not?
Yeah.
Her cool little Kodak disc camera that used those little discs that you can't get anymore.
That was a great stop you got there too. You have muzzle flash.
Dude, I go frame by frame looking for all of this.
Of course you did.
It has to look good.
A word of advice from Iceman the Doctor. You're French. Don't bother learning about American food.
You're right, man. Our food is superior in every way, except for Texan barbecue, man. That's like number one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
As like I would say, so this whole scene is good because later on, look at the payoff, because as he's asking questions, which just happen to be happenstance, question about grits, what the chef tells him about the grits pays off later on in the film.
Yeah. We're not just obsessing about grits for like 20 minutes for no reason. Grits are a huge part of the fucking story of this movie.
Payoff, man.
Yeah, we should have all brought grits, like a bowl of grits to eat, like on stream. Stupid.
Ooh,
damn, missed opportunity.
So we finally get to court, and this is Jim Trotter III meeting Vinny. And so you got Vinny trying to act professional and copy what he does and stuff like that. And
I love the line, by the way.
What line
is your attorney here? And I'm like, I am the attorney.
But it's like, I mean, everyone tries to give Vinny a hard time in this one because, like, the judge gives him a hard time with the clothes that he's wearing, the fact that he's standing and not talking, like the fact that he's not standing and talking, the fact that he doesn't know the procedure and getting angry at him, calling everyone like guilty or not guilty. And I mean, he gets held in contempt of court, basically.
Yes.
This scene is so that scene is so legendary with the whole like guilty, not guilty. Oh my god.
The running gag is not, he like not only can he not sleep every night, his sleep's interrupted, but also he gets fucking held in contempt for something every single time. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Legendary, honestly.
Locked up, boom.
I just like more so with the judge and Vinny, but just the whole like, he's like guilty or not guilty. I don't want to even hear you clear your throat. And like, of course, I think I get the point. No, I don't think you do. Now you're in contempt.
So he actually probably likely wouldn't have been sent to jail for this contempt until after the trial was done, though.
Really?
Yeah, this was actually came from RRTNZ, who used to serve as an attorney.
He said family lawyer, right? Didn't he
was a family lawyer. He said that this.
But did he serve in the U.S.? Because he's from New Zealand.
No.
Yeah,
that's
well,
no,
but
he was telling us.
He specified that likely this is. He said that likely this is something across the board. Is that it wouldn't serve it until after because it would cause. You're essentially interrupting the trial. You're interrupting the trial. You're interrupting his ability to prepare for the trial. So like he would just kind of rack up these contempt of court. Charges, and then they would just deal with it at the end as a separate thing.
We'll stack that up on another reason you could have declared a mistrial.
I mean, and just from the fact that they probably wouldn't be trying both of them together in the same trial. Well, because they're not up for the same crime.
No,
right. And usually when someone is up for the same crime or whatever, like it's usually recommended that you get two different lawyers. Like lawyers will usually like, I don't think it's a good idea that I represent both of you because here's what always happens. They start the finger pointing, and then it's like I can't represent both of these people.
Well, the payoff to that, Enzo, was that like initially when he called his mother, is that how much does a lawyer cost? $100,000, $200,000. So they're taking Vinny because Vinny's doing this shit for free. That's the premise of it.
But like they could have got a public defender the whole time.
I mean,
we'll see what happens when you get that.
That pays off later.
Public defenders are.
I didn't realize I was on a panelist full of ableists here. A panel full of ableists. So I can't believe it. Makes fun of
So,
stoners.
apparently there's a really good Legal Eagle video on this movie.
Really?
I reached out to
Yeah.
him. He did not get back to me. So
Yeah.
I think he has like 3 million subscribers. So odds are he wasn't going to.
It's kind of busy.
Yeah.
However,
Rakeda Law wasn't available, so I'm here instead. Don't worry.
Rakeda Law, like he said he was
joking.
interested, and
I'm
then he
joking.
disappeared on me. I was very upset about that. I'll try to get him.
Oh, I was
He
joking.
is
I didn't
doing
realize
a
you had
lot
actually
of,
contacted the guy.
Yeah, I'll show you
streaming
later.
on Rumble, I want to say. I don't even think he's doing YouTube right now.
Now I haven't seen him on YouTube in a while, even like just regular videos and stuff. So
We're Dark
Yeah,
Air.
it is what it is.
Dark Air, you know as much as I get bigger and uninspired and everybody, like we'll never forget you, man. So,
yeah, I know, right? We'll never forget you.
once I eventually surpass your subs.
Honestly,
And,
I imagine it's all a
I
matter
mean,
of time before
Uninspired
we
has
all
like almost
slowly move to
twice the
Rumble.
amount I have.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Come from
Dark
And we're
Howard,
talking
don't
about
worry, I won't forget
subscribers,
you,
right?
man.
Yeah.
Just asking.
Talking about inches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it is a running step later on with the judge, like Judge fucking with Vinny's appearance, which becomes another running gag later on. So
So there are a
I mean,
lot of
yeah.
little tiny subplots that all kind of converge. Some of them
Yes.
converge, other ones kind of have resolutions, and this is one of them. You see all these people that are outside the prison are protesting for Norton. Who they don't really tell you what he did or anything. He's just a guy that they think is wrongfully accused, and he's on death row.
Yeah.
So it's going to end up being that he's going to die soon, and that eventually he does. I don't know if we have a clip for that or anything, but the so that there's like these kind of tiny little side stories that all branch off of the main one. And you have to remember, for some reason, this trial takes place in a matter of like 7 days. It's like the most expedited system ever.
Oh yeah.
That's another inaccuracy. Usually, trials like this
Oh,
last
this
a
is-
minimum of like 180 days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, already from the fact that they month and a half
Oh.
before the trial date, you know,
Definitely, yeah.
first day.
Or
So-
or this movie could be like The Shining, where like we think it's just one day after another, but it's actually there's been weeks between each of these scenes. You know, we don't realize it. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
There's a possibility.
it's
There's
just a thought.
But yeah, so like in this scene, this is where he's bailed out by Mona Lisa Vito. You know, Mona Lisa is a very, very fitting name for Marisa Tomei in this
Remember,
movie because
for
you know,
$200 too, which
yeah.
uh,
Here's the first, just snapshot of Marisa Tomei looking good that I've inserted into a lot of these slides. Yeah,
She's got this like 80s Madonna vibe. I'm digging the
She
hair.
looks
Yeah.
so good.
It was still like I've always said that like so it's funny because like every decade that like you associate with a style
That's
technically
true.
ends like, halfway through the next decade. So like what you know as like the 70s doesn't really end until like 1983.
Oh yeah.
It's like what you associate with the 80s is like goes up until like 94. It's like it's weird. It's like
Yeah, it always goes to like the about half a decade into the next decade. So
Yeah.
like 90s fashion is probably there till
Yeah.
about 2005, 2006.
yeah,
You know,
about yeah.
I do want to say
Mhm.
this scene too, as well as her. She's telling Vinny like, "Oh, I want to help you out." It looked like you didn't know what you were doing in there, which also pays off later on. Is
Mhm.
she's already seen Vinny struggling and she wants to help him, and that's
Yep.
the dynamic between that. So, like, Uninspired was saying that she's trying to help him out, but he's still stubborn.
Yeah,
Right, but
Yeah.
we thought he was underprepared already, and we realized like how more underprepared he is because he's never even done
Yeah.
the
Well,
sit-ins that these lawyers
yeah.
do, where they
And that's what makes
they-
it good. Is
yeah.
but she keeps calling it out and just
Right.
kind of hammering it home with him.
exactly. Yeah, and like that's
Like
what
a
she
true
should-
New York Italian woman. She points out the obvious and tells you that you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Look,
also
man.
drinking a Coke can out of a straw. That's another
Dude,
Italian
this made me
woman
go
thing.
out and buy like a full pack of Coke yesterday. I was
Classic. I can't drink it anymore. I can only drink the zero.
I
I
mean,
drink the
dude.
regular one, and I'm like, whoa. How did I
Drink
drink
water,
this?
bro.
Yeah, I'm doing zero right here. So
Yeah, I can't
I
do
drink-
soda anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's really
I
the
drink
only
juice
one I
and
still
water.
drink is Coke Zero. That's really the
I
only
have sodas occasionally for like mixing with alcohol, but even then, it's like I pour like a little bit in my drink, and then like 2/3 of a soda sit on my table for a day, and I throw it away. I mean,
Yeah, the only reason
Yeah.
I buy Coke is for whiskey. That's pretty much it. Like for me. So yeah, and so in this scene, like they talk about the carburetors and the fact that she wants to help, and also the fact that she
Yep.
got stiffed by
Yes.
And
for
this is
200
100% true. By the way.
Yes,
This is why
I
she
love
has
that
this trauma.
scene.
Oh
It's,
yeah,
it's,
it's
it's
true.
not screw up the lipstick. That's actually pretty common still. So
yeah.
Hell,
Yeah.
I never see people drinking through straws anymore. I thought they were banned. You know.
I do
I mean,
because
you guys only have wine glasses in France. They don't. That's strong one of those is very frowned upon.
like
You
I
saw
have very sensitive teeth, so if I go out to a restaurant and they don't give me a straw and the ice hits my teeth, it just like sends a shock through my gums.
To what Reni was saying, my dentist recently told me that if you drink coffee, coffee's actually better through a straw than a cup because of that. Because that's my dentist flat told me. I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh,
Interesting.
man.
I've been drinking, so all my coffee I've been drinking through a straw for the past 2 years. That's they told me.
I'm not sure if Fiona mistyped this, but I love what this ended up saying. No, read it.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, you get me drunk enough.
I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but either way, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So they finally go to the pool club where they visit JT. So JT is the guy that has that stiff, and so I mean I just really like this scene. Let me just play it out because I
love this scene too.
It is.
What if I was just to kick the ever-loving shit out of you?
In your dreams.
Oh, no. In reality, I get my ass kicked. Or, option B, I kick your ass. I'm going with option B, kicking your ass and collecting $200.
I wish people could see me while those are going on because I'm always like talking along with them.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I count it off. Okay, I count it off.
You missed the best part when they walk in though. That guy with the suspenders right next to him just eats a whole chicken leg.
Dude, I just seen it. I was just like,
wait.
Dude,
guys,
like Looney Tunes.
Wait. You guys don't eat chicken legs like that?
I mean, I've been to prison, so.
Wow.
He said chicken legs.
Oh. Yeah.
I also love how like they walk in and somebody just like it sounds like someone straight up like unplugs the jukebox.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's just like
that sound effect.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a scratch. It's like a scratch noise, as if there was like an actual record player someone slapped the needle off of.
I love him pulling the lawyer. It's like, what happened to you, fell?
Yeah,
no, he says what
goes
happened
back into personal injury status. Yeah.
Rear-ended?
He's like, what happened? Rear-ended? It's like, no. After like, just before leaving, it's like, where did you fall? Your place or someone else's?
Yeah,
like,
my place.
Get out of
like,
here, man.
Yeah.
Watch him like drop the case. Sorry, boys, I gotta go represent this guy with a neck brace.
Yeah,
I bet.
it's another great scene. These two are fish out of water. And just,
for sure.
They don't belong in Alabama, so which will pay off later.
And
on.
the fact that everybody is just enormous, like in this
giant.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like these dudes, like so he's 5'3", so that guy's probably about like 6'4".
Yeah.
I mean, they're either all taller or fatter.
Yeah, maybe Marisa Tomei was like honestly into Joe Pesci because they're the same height and she likes that about him.
Yeah. Actually, be taller than him.
Yeah, well, with heels, she's like 5'3.5", but she was wearing heels too, so they must have put him on lifts or something.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And they probably added heels in his boots, probably something.
Yeah,
like
lifts.
Lifts.
Like, literally, like.
Yep. So we get a little snippet of Billy and Stan in the prison after they're playing basketball, and of course they are very concerned, mostly on Stan's part because he doesn't want to get booked because nobody wants to fucking die because they're like falsely imprisoned. So he does start to voice a bit of his concerns towards Vinny. And
wait, can you go back real quick? I love the black dude, the prisoner in the back, is clearly trying to get into the frame.
Yeah,
but it's like make sure I'm in the scene.
It's like a filming.
Like you guys are saying, these guys, they can't be put in general population because they're still on trial. So if they put them in gen pop and somebody attacked them, that's a big lawsuit. So
there's also a guard separating them from the other prisoners. That's probably what this dude's looking at. Why are these guys getting escorts? What makes them
why
special?
are they so special? Yeah.
Plus, they're young too. I mean, Ralph Macchio looks like a fucking kid here. So,
but this is
he would have been a prison bitch.
Why
Stan's?
Yeah,
I think Stan's the one who's like saying we might want to talk about meeting the public defender because it seemed like Vinny didn't know what the hell he was doing. It's like, how hard is it to say not guilty? That's all he had to say, not guilty. He couldn't even say that.
My favorite line in this scene is like, my parents argue it doesn't make them good attorneys. I've seen your parents argue. They're amateurs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Gambini family. They're the best of the best, man.
They're the Marine Corps of arguments.
So, just out of curiosity, have you guys ever seen the album that Joe Pesci did in his Vincent Gambini
Yes. I'm
character?
so glad
It's
you brought this up.
hilarious. I used to
No, I've
have it
never
on
seen that.
CD.
Someone
Dude, you
plays.
gotta listen to it. It's
okay,
funny.
That was
You
the
should-
album that I saw. Yeah, okay.
Close us out with that music if you can.
I mean, sure, why not? We'll do it. Worst case scenario, just kicks us from the stream. We'll just try
Yeah,
it.
we're in
It's
it
pretty
anyway.
profane.
I'll check it out.
So
Hell
the
yeah.
album is called Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings
Yeah.
Just For
Yep.
You.
Yep, and it's hilarious, you guys. Check it out if you haven't heard it.
No, this one scenes I like it because it just like it shows so much where how she knows what she's talking about, but also they're kind of flirty, fun dynamic, and just
Yeah,
it's
it shows their relationship.
it
which is
really
good.
does. It's like how this and these two have such great chemistry on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
just look at the man.
Take your love and shove it. That's the name of one of the
Yes.
songs. There you go.
It's great.
Do you guys know what the surname Gambini means?
No.
It came from a person with some peculiarity of the legs or a strange walk.
Oh.
So,
Well, you know what's good to
okay.
see too is like how Bill's talking to his buddy there about how their arguments they argue a lot. It's just like Vinny gets into his entire 6-minute monologue just over a fucking leaky faucet to show what kind of lawyer, what kind of man he really is. If you're gonna argue for 10 minutes over a fucking drip, like this shows like how you're gonna be in the courtroom.
Well, this is also their they have like a really strange way of
Flirting.
like flirting with each
Yeah.
other. It's essentially like it's borderline toxic because like it's
Yeah.
they know what's going on, but it even shows later on that like they argue a little too much sometimes, and it's
It's just like I guess most Italians do.
Yeah, please don't
I mean-
judge Italians in our courting processes. All right.
I mean, for me, like, look at the notes that I wrote down for this scene. It's like one sentence, and it just says dirty talk about wrenches and faucets. So yeah.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
even if you think if you actually think about what she's saying, she's talking about like she's saying she always twists a appropriate amount of torquage. Like what is if you actually think about what the implication is there? Like it's
But it pays off later because he's like, how can you be so sure? You
yeah,
know?
they almost do it exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And so yeah, so then after this we start the it's not really the trial because the trial hasn't ended, like the trial hasn't started yet, but they're interviewing the witnesses to see if they have substantial evidence.
It's the discovery phase.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the 1, 2, and 3 eyewitnesses that all identified the boys and the car that they were in. So we've got the sheriff too bringing out the statement that we said before of I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. Yeah.
I said it again.
That is a-
And he said,
That is a mighty mustache he has. Is that a fake mustache or is
Oh no,
might be
that's
a real
real.
mustache?
It was pretty
Yeah.
thick.
Back to the Coke Zero slab. I don't know exactly. I think so. The Diet Coke uses a different
different sweeteners.
Different sweeteners.
Yeah.
Aspartame, whereas Coke
One's
Zero,
stevia or something.
I can say this
stevia, I believe.
to the Gord King. I've been saying for the past 5 years, I can't drink Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke or even Sprite, Diet Sprite. It gives me massive migraines, but Zero doesn't. I don't get migraines off Zero for some reason.
Yeah, aspartame causes brain tumors in mice.
that's
That's
why
why I get that looked at. And you also pass out and wake up in fields randomly. You
I
might
had-
want to get a CAT scan, dude.
I had a Diet Pepsi 2 years ago, dude. I had a fucking headache for like 4
I had a
hours.
Diet Pepsi 2 years ago. Just woke up. Just woke up now.
Yeah, it's like
I always say, look, would you rather have diabetes and be fat, or do you want like cancer and tumors? I mean, it's a lose-lose situation with the sodas.
Just drink water, man. Do like me.
I mean,
According to what I just found, Coke Zero does have some aspartame in it, aka
It
equal.
must have less than.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe.
even understand how you guys drink Coke like on its own, because to me, Coke just tastes like rust incarnate. You know, it's like
Listen, guys.
Actually, you
Dr.
can
Pepper.
use
I'm in
it to
Dr. Pepper
dissolve
land here.
rust. So
Yeah. Sheriffs, state patrolways use Coke to remove bloodstains off of highways and stuff. There's all kinds. They use Coke. Freights use Coke to clean their engines. It's crazy, corrosive.
I've seen videos on TikTok. Yeah.
There's the old joke where the science teacher puts a nail in the petri dish full of Coke and the nail dissolves, and it's like,
I've seen
the
that one.
kid sees that and they're like, "Well, you're just telling me I can eat nails? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I can eat nails if I drink Coke?"
I love the comment.
It works with pennies too. It'll eat through copper.
Yeah, for that.
Mhm. Yeah. So as you guys have noticed, Two Hosts is sponsored by Pepsi. We don't like Coke over here. You know?
That is not true. I take that shit back. I will not associate
Guys.
with that shit brand.
Guys, Dr. Pepper is the soda brand to lend your name to, or Mountain Dew, even though that's Pepsi technically. But Mountain Dew is just hilarious.
Have I never told the story of why I won't consume any Pepsi products on this show?
Tell me. I want to know.
I hope it has something to do with those Star Wars prequels. Cans.
This is a Coke product.
No, close. No, close.
Close. Okay.
In 2015, they did a special edition bottle that was based on the one from Back to the Future Part 2.
Okay.
And I stayed up really fucking late till like 3 a.m. to buy this bottle because they were supposed to do based on West Coast time. Come to find out, they're already sold out. They released them early, told all their employees. The employees bought them out, and they were on eBay for like 10 times the price. And I was like, well, I'm never drinking any of your product again. So whenever I go into I'm not even joking. If I go into a restaurant and I go, I'll have Coke, and they go, we have Pepsi. Is that okay? I go, absolutely the fuck not.
That's so funny. I'm so glad that was a nerd story and not like some kind of like stomach ailment story about.
No. I refuse to consume any product from them.
What about Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper is independently bottled.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm from Texas,
In Texas.
I'm from Texas. So Dr. Pepper all the way, baby. It's like,
I do like Dr. Pepper Zero. It's delicious.
I've never had Dr. Pepper, but I did see them selling some some over here because where I grew up, no fucking Dr. Pepper in sight. We had Mountain Dew, Sprite, Coke, Pepsi.
Yeah.
But like Dr. Pepper is something that I have yet to try.
So basically, Dr.
I'll send you
Pepper,
some.
Dr. Pepper, Dr. B, Mr. Pibb. The idea of those sodas is Coke plus root beer, and that is basically what Dr. Pepper is.
Speaking of Mr.
It doesn't taste like root beer to me.
There's definitely like a tiny bit of there's definitely a tiny bit of that sarsaparilla root in it. There's like 23 ingredients. They always say in the Dr. Pepper.
I've always liked the argument. It's like Dr. Pepper versus Mr. Pibb, and I'm like, well, only one of those.
Always Dr. Pepper.
Only one of those has a PhD. So.
Especially the cane sugar, the Dublin Dr. Pepper. If you can get the cane sugar Dr. Pepper,
remember
get
the Simpsons? He said fucking Mountain Dew versus Mellow Yellow.
Yeah, people call Dr. Pepper barbecue Sprite is what the Yankees call it. Yeah.
Sprite. All right. No, I have to try Dr. Pepper someday, man.
Uncle Fiona just said.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, we're gonna probably go to war if I say pineapple belongs on pizza. So,
I love
it. Do I actually have the ability to kick you out of this stream? I don't think I do.
Get a white pizza with Alfredo sauce with pineapple and anchovies. Go crazy.
I can remove you from the stage. I can't remove you from the stream.
I mean, like over here in France, we have like different types of pizzas. So we have like normal pizza, and we also have what we call like cream-based pizza. So it's like
everything in France,
like an Alfredo.
Wait, no, hold on. We're on my channel. Don't unsub. His channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sub from me, man. I like pineapple on pizza. Hell, it was one of the only ways
you like border. You're like right near the Italian border. Why don't you just go and get real pizza?
Dude, I do that sometimes. Like it's a 4-hour drive over there, But when I'm sleeping like over at my best friend's house, because he lives like 30 minutes away, we always like go. Well, it's weird because we go to Italy for sushi instead of pizza, which is fucking
that's
stupid.
Weird.
Though. Yeah, but they have like.
Let's get back to the movie.
Yeah. Okay. My cousin Vinny. So basically, with all the evidence that's been given, the court is set to trial because they do have sufficient evidence now. And so you get Vinny that's been told to dress appropriately one more time, and Stan's starting to lose complete faith in Vinny because, well, they went to trial.
Yeah.
And so we essentially get Vinny getting called out by Mona Lisa. And I do like this clip, so I'll play it before we move on.
You're supposed to stand by your man, encourage me a little bit, a little encouragement.
The way you handled that judge, oh, you're a smooth talker. You are.
All right, knock it off.
Well,
love it.
To what
Love
Unspoiled
her
was saying,
speech.
he got contempt of court again because, like, the judge, he's like, what did I tell you about dressing? Vinny's like, you were serious about that?
Yeah. That was a good trailer shot for sure.
And look, it's another beautiful picture of a beautiful woman.
Oh my god!
That I have just slipped into the stream somehow. She just appears everywhere.
And do you have an equally equal close up of Joe Pesci for the ladies?
Dude, Joe
thank
Pesci, no. Look at Marisa.
One thing I've
Tomei's
never been able to
eyes,
quite
man.
really grasp is she has like a random blonde streak, just one
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, she
it's
does.
really weird. It's like she only has it on the one side, not both. So it's like
Mhm.
I don't know. I've just never been able to really 100% grasp why she did that.
Yeah.
Listen, man, she's sexy either way. So listen, that's
as,
it.
As Mr. Brown would say, I'd give her a 1.
Mhm, mhm. And so yeah, so at this point in the film, they've moved to a new hotel because of the steam whistle that was
Right.
annoying them and keeping them waking up. And so in this scene, she basically just comforts Vinny, who thinks that he's bitten off way more than he could chew at this point. And
Mhm.
it is another just a showcase of how strong their relationship is, even
Yes.
though you see them argue sometimes, which is always good. I mean, hell, if Marisa Tomei looked at me the way she's looking at Joe Pesci right now, I know I'd probably just die. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I'd fold in a second. Hey,
No, and the right here,
Origami, he folds under pressure.
it's at 46 minutes and 53 seconds. I like the fact that Joe Pesci, Vinny, says, I'm really scared. Now, two things. Imagine, number one, a man saying this. Number two, a big fucking Italian tough guy, you know, macho guy, Vinny. He's telling
Small
his fiance,
Italian tough guy.
yeah, but he's telling his fiance, like, you know, I'm really scared. And you should be, because right now it's like, all joking aside, you have the lives because these two kids are facing the fucking death penalty. Like,
Yeah,
and this
exactly.
is his very first trial case. Like, he's fucking scared and telling his fiance, I'm being vulnerable. Like, that's like Uninspired would say, this just shows the bond of the relationship, because he's telling his fiance, like, I'm vulnerable. I'm scared shitless for this situation.
Yeah.
He's signed up. He's definitely bit off more than he could chew. Is essentially what it is.
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so yeah, but then they get woken up again because the hotel that they're in is called Parker's, and so directly behind the hotel is Parker's Pork Products with all the
pigs that are getting slaughtered. Yeah.
Mhm. So that just wakes him up again, and so yeah, and then on this side we've got Stan finally telling Billy that he wants a public attorney, and that's
Public
who
defender?
they're gonna meet. Yeah, public defender. Yeah. And so as Billy meets with Vinny, Stan is meeting with the public defender himself. Yeah. And this is one of the lines that I took from the movie because I like it a lot.
Nobody, I mean nobody, pulls the wool over the eyes of a Gambini.
Yes, sir.
That's a very good scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, go ahead.
I said the public defender is he's very suave, smooth, well spoken.
At first.
The public
At first,
defender,
yeah.
of course. Why wouldn't you hire this guy? He's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, the fact that this scene also the fact that Joe Pesci's character just says that it's all an illusion, you know.
Yes.
He's trying to gain the trust of Billy because he knows that there is a lot of weight like on his shoulders. He knows that for Billy it's a very bad situation. And with the scene before coming through, he's finally like come to terms of, this is a really serious situation. I'm gonna try and do my best to get you out of it because, you know, hey, you guys are family. And as they say, it's all an illusion. And you know it's an illusion because you're innocent. We know for a fact.
Yeah, good scene.
So it's like it gives you a lot of who Joe Pesci, like who Vinny is. And even in the next scene, this is where you have Billy saying that he would like Joe Pesci was always able to call out bullshit, and that's who he is. He's the quintessential Gambini, as they say.
And there goes the quintessential Norton. This is the scene I was talking about before. This is the end of that sub story, at subplot.
Mm-hmm. And,
But you never really see, you know, as far as this like magician stuff. That's the whole point. Is like, you know, you never bullshit a bullshitter, and Vinny is a bullshitter, and his thing. He was telling Ralph Macchio that like, look, I'm winging it, but the thing is, I can spot bullshit, and every one of these like, you know, witness testimonies, like there's bullshit in there, and my job is to spot it. Like he doesn't really technically know that these kids are innocent. He knows in his heart, but you know.
Yeah. And then so we finally get JT again, and so when JT taunts Vinny with money, and it's like, is that not just like a $20 bill wrapped around one?
Yeah.
Like,
And he called it perfectly.
Exactly.
It was great. He
Which
was like,
plays right into what Enzo just said.
Exactly.
You know,
It's like he can spot bullshit a mile away.
Yep.
It was funny because when I saw that roll of 20s, I was like, God, that's not $200. If that's 20s, that's got to be like what? The couple grand maybe?
Yeah,
Or
probably
something, you know?
probably a
It's like,
grand
that's
or
like
something.
that's
Probably,
about-
if it was all 20s, that's probably about 2-3 grand if it's all wrapped together.
Yeah, shit. That's, that's a tight wad.
And
That gets you monetized for saying tight wad? I hope not.
Of course,
It's okay. This stream actually isn't monetized. I don't
I'm
monetize.
joking.
So we can say whatever.
That was a joke.
And of course, Vinny is woken up yet again. This is the third day in a row. The guy's getting 1 hour of sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Like I didn't put it, but as you say, like this time they were woken by I think it's the train that was passing at 5 a.m.
He was like,
goes
does
to
this train come by every
clerk.
morning at 5?
Exactly.
Not at all.
He said no. Yeah, technically, he's like, no, sir, it's very unusual.
Later.
That's one of those like unreliable narrator like moments or unreliable character because he technically says it's supposed to come by at 4:15.
Later, the next day. But it's funny. That's one of those things where he says, no, it is unusual. And then he left. And then that clerk just kind of does this little like, it's playing a little joke on him.
He wasn't lying, though. It's unusual for 5 a.m.
Yeah, it's just it should be there at 10 after 4.
Something my dad would say.
Yeah.
So this is where we have Vinny that meets Trotter about the case, and this is where Judge Malloy comes up for the first time in the movie.
Yes.
It is like pretty interesting that even though it's someone that we don't see, he is like impactful in what comes at the end, of course.
Yeah.
And so you've got Vinny that tries to go, like he goes hunting with Trotter.
Yep.
And so the reason is that he wants to get the files and essentially finesse info out of them, which is pretty stupid. But
and also it would have probably been a conflict of interest for them to be like doing that.
Best friends, yeah.
Yeah, being like buddy.
Can.
Like they can be friendly, but they're really not supposed to be like off talking about the case in a like a cavalier way,
unprofessional
like
setting.
Yeah.
That's one thing I feel like about Trotter. Trotter's like a lot of guys out there. He's not a bad guy. He just says that Vinny, he got tired of like winning all these cases, putting away setting free criminals he knew were guilty. So he's like, I couldn't sleep at night, man. It was way.
You have to remember, he's just really doing his job. His job is to prosecute based on the evidence. It's not his job to determine whether or not that person is innocent or guilty. He has to, and that's the thing that a lot of movies get wrong about, and even this one to a little bit, but not to the extent of a lot. Like a lot of times, the defense or the prosecution will be set as the villain, and they're really just doing what their job is. Either way, it's sometimes people are found innocent in crimes that they committed because of procedural errors and stuff.
Exactly.
So it's not necessarily an evil thing by the defense attorney. And same thing here. He's just using the evidence he has. When he eventually is presented with the evidence that it's not them, he decides, okay, well now I have a trial. I have like another case for somewhere else. That's where it actually is.
Yeah, exactly.
Did anybody else look up Mr. Trotter's actual name?
Lane Smith.
No.
Lane Smith. That's a pretty dope name, honestly.
Which remember, I'm pretty sure Dark Tower knows he was in Lois and Clark. He was Pa Kent. And with the one
he was. Yeah, you're right. He was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
good actor.
Great, but yeah, this is. Let me see. I have to take over. I hate doing.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Oh yeah. I hate doing this.
That damn.
So, of course, just before moving on, here's another beautiful looking picture of Marisa Tomei. So
of course.
Oh man. I think that we're done with this scene with the fact that so this is when they're coming back and Trotter essentially tells his secretary to give all the info to Vinny. And
by the way, I'll send you those case files. I have my secretary send you some copies on my car phone.
When you say it like that, he sounds like I forget the dude's name, but he's the rooster in Looney Tunes.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn.
I say, boy. I say. Yeah.
You don't have the clip of. Let me ask you something. Do you care what pants the son of a bitch who shot you was wearing?
Oh no.
Yeah. When I was bringing up the stream to Megan, that was the first thing she started quoting was that doe monologue. Just imagine your little doe.
Dark, I do want to apologize to Trembling Colors. He's right. He was Perry White. I'm drinking. Yeah.
I remember him seeing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember seeing that guy in the show. I couldn't remember what it was, but as soon as
it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh man, and so it's like he gets in the room with you clearly see her reading the Alabama book and getting all the knowledge, and it's like, this is disclosure, you dumbass. It's like,
I love that because he's like, oh, I finessed him. And it's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, called disclosure, you dickhead.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like interesting too because for all the times that we see him reading the book. just her opening it and having like half open, it's as if she knows already more than him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been reading it this whole time. If she's that far in, she's definitely been reading it.
Definitely. Oh, and Spar's right.
Yeah, what do you want to say, Spencer?
Well, I was just gonna say I saw that comment about Wes Kelly saying, "Can we all agree that this movie is peak Marisa Tomei?" And I was gonna say I actually think The Wrestler's peak Marisa Tomei because she gets naked, she's got milfy vibes, and she's a better actress in that movie. So
Wait, what movie? What? Wait,
The Wrestler.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, a movie that I had on our list, and it's
Really?
now been removed because I couldn't get the people. It's been put on the back burner because I'm trying to get certain people to do it. So,
Yeah, I'll watch that. Good movie.
So you're telling me Marisa Tomei is naked in The Wrestler?
several times.
She's a stripper in the movie.
But it's kind of sad, but you know, she still gets naked. I mean,
Kind
it
of
counts.
sad. Hell,
Yeah,
alright,
it's a depressing ass movie, man.
Listen,
Yes,
I know
yes.
what I'm watching tonight, so yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had a feeling.
I'll inspire make a video.
You'll need two tissues. You'll need two tissues for that movie, young lad.
He's gonna
Tissues.
there'll be a review tomorrow. So after spending all night watching this movie,
Tissues.
It's like, yeah, man. I got stuck at a scene where Marisa Tomei was naked, and it lasted for an hour and a half. The movie's only 2 hours.
Whoa, an hour and a half.
You know?
Whoa. That's what we call stamina in the business.
So
she does inform Vinny that he can talk to witnesses.
yes.
And this is what he goes doing. So he sees the first witness, which is the old woman. The second witness, the guy with
Mrs.
the
Riley.
breakfast. Yeah, Mrs.
Yep.
Riley. Then the
Mr.
second
Tipton.
witness, Mr. Tipton, with the breakfast.
Yep.
And then
I don't
the
remember this
third
guy's name.
witness,
He's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
the random dude.
But her camera does help out though.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you go back to the first panel, it's like he's interviewing her like on the porch from the gas station. Then the second one, literally the guy's eating breakfast, you know, like they're gonna talk about. Then the third one, he's got all the windows down, and you know, he's asking what the brown stuff is. I don't want to know what the brown stuff is. I don't want to know what it is.
Listen, I'm looking. He's got like a little thing of weed right there. He's got some light beer. The guy's a red.
This is the kind of house where you walk in and you look up and like the ceiling has like coffee stains from all the smoking, from all the smoking that he does right there in that couch. That's what it looks like.
This is also another sort of. First of all, something I just noticed now. He has a Coors Extra Gold clock. That's fantastic. I never noticed that.
Yeah, the back at the top.
Oh my
God.
But yeah, actually, now that I'm getting a chance to look at this guy's house, yeah, he's
great attention to detail.
Show Park.
But I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something else about. It's weird that he's actually interviewing them at their homes. Normally, they'd be brought in for interviews in the courthouse, you know, or at least like a secondary location,
or maybe by phone.
Yeah, or possibly by phone. But usually, if you want to do conduct an interview, they bring them to you. You usually do not go to them.
But yeah, limited resources. You know, he's on his own, and so after that, normally we get the juries. I think so. What I understood from this scene, correct me if I'm wrong, was the jury deciding if the final penalty that they would give would be the death penalty.
No, this is. The penalties wouldn't be decided until after the fact.
Yeah, I think he's just interviewing jurors.
Yeah, they're interviewing jurors to see, because so normally, at least with the American court system, majority of states do it this way, where they bring in way more jurors than they need. So you need 12, and they'll bring in like 100 people, and right off the bat they'll dismiss like half of them. They're just like, no, I don't want you. Some I often get dismissed before I even get to the court. They'll just call me the night before and be like, no, you really don't need to be here. Because they'll do the first phase will be them going through the names and just kind of checking off people like that. Don't worry. And then you bring in 40 people or so, and then they kind of get a chance to, each side, the defense and the prosecution both get a chance to say a certain number get to go. We don't want that one, we don't want that one, and then you basically trim it down to where you get your 12, and that's we're seeing just kind of the end of the process here.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, because I was confused, because he does ask her, he asked the old woman, he's like, oh yeah, they shot the clerk in the back, they deserve the penalty. Then she's like, yeah, give it to them. That's why I was confused.
It's like fry them.
Yeah, fry
so
him.
he's like, all right, we'll keep her on the jury.
I saw Family Guy.
But she would probably be dismissed by the judge.
Yes.
So like just for saying that, she'd probably be.
Yeah.
That's it. I like Family Guy. Peter Griffin's like, how do you avoid jury duty? Tell me you hate all races.
Yeah.
A good one is actually, this is a good one. You walk into the court and because usually the defendant is sitting there, and just give them the head bop. And if they do it back, then the prosecutor sees it, they'll be like, you know him. You just be like, maybe.
No, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Maybe.
So then after that, you've got the judge that calls in Vinny that wants to like confirm all the stuff that he said to him,
who he
But
is.
who he is. But he said that he uses the stage name Jerry Gallo now, and but Gallo is dead, is what we learned, like in the scene right after. So that gives him a bit of time.
All last week.
I gotta say one thing because of course Dark Hour and Spencer know this, that back in the 90s, imagine a judge smoking nowadays and indoors in 2023 would never
Well, this is in his chambers. He's literally allowed to do whatever he wants in there.
I think even in 2023 judges can smoke wherever the hell
I
they
don't know,
want.
man. But we've demonized, at least in New York, we've demonized any cigarette.
Yeah, but this is like literally like his personal office that he has complete control
but
over.
I think some areas are not okay with that. It depends on the
Yeah.
state you live in
That's what I'm saying.
and county and all that. So
Dude, move to France. Like here, once you wake up 7:30 a.m., the whole city just smells like cigarettes and coffee.
There's just a haze of smoke over the inside.
Man, I'm telling you,
that's different from America, man. So at this point, you can't smoke within like 50 fucking feet of a building anymore. Like it's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But you can get a Big Mac anywhere. So we've kind of a give or take.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke about how French people make fun of American food, but it's like we've seen your breakfast of cigarettes and coffee. I mean,
dude, it's like cigarettes, coffee, and a croissant. That's
a cup of wine too. Let's get crazy.
You never know.
You know, I'm doing that whole thing again where I'm looking at like the details of the room. And first of all, he's probably going to lose that chess game. Second of all, I like that he has like the gavel. I'm assuming that's from when he like graduated law school or whatever. Like there on the wall. That's pretty cool.
He's got a little framed painting of his picture of his mother right there. Or is that the missus?
It could be either or, and then I'm not really sure what that picture of that guy is, but like I like when you get a chance to like look at a full scene like this and see like all the little details.
Yeah, it is. It's great because like it does tell you that for the set already, they try to personalize it and not just make a random judge chamber. You know.
Yeah.
It's always like good. And so continuing, we get the scene where Vinny and Mona Lisa are just voicing their frustrations. But you know what? I'll play the clip before we move any further.
We agreed to get married as soon as you won your first case. My biological clock is ticking like this, and the way this case is going, I ain't never getting married.
I ain't slept in 5 days. I got no money, a dress code problem, not to mention your biological clock.
And then she ends that whole speech.
That's a great scene.
She has that whole speech with like, I guess I should have brought it up some other time. But I love how she's wearing that. This is probably my favorite of all of her outfits. It's so bizarre. And it has no back either.
Yeah.
You don't think like the material is like weird, the pattern and stuff?
When I say favorite, I mean it's the weirdest thing she wears, but I don't know why I like it. It's so weird.
That's why you like it, because it's just so strange.
I think
what is this?
It's like Dark Hour would say she just like if anybody can pull that off, she could with that body.
She's just wearing the most 90s shit you can, basically.
For me,
but
it's
also,
that
early 90s stuff.
Also, this idea that like they're staying in this cabin that the prosecutor has like set them up in because they're saying they have trouble sleeping, you know. So first it was the steam whistle, then it was the pig farm and the train, and it's a
the
nightmare,
prison riot.
you know?
Yeah,
right.
The prison riot didn't happen yet.
Prison riot didn't happen, yeah. But it does happen soon.
Yeah,
so it's like they end up sleeping in the car. But you know what? As you said before, let me just play the clip.
What the fuck is that?
America.
That's a great scene.
As a guy who ran out in his underwear and a leather jacket before outside of my house, I can tell you that's pretty accurate.
In white high top shoes too, with no pants. But then he fires the gun like multiple times, and the owl's reaction is like, "Oh my god, they were so lucky to get that reaction."
Of all the owl actors I've ever seen, that's by far the best.
All I kept thinking the scene was like, of course, it's Joe Pesci. He's from Brooklyn. He knows how to handle a gun. Come on.
But he doesn't clearly.
Yeah,
he tries to
fires
load it. No idea what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not your typical Italian mobster guy. He's a lawyer.
He
He's
tried
probably
to
never.
he tried to do the gunslinger thing. He just tried to pop it, and he's like, "Fuck."
But dude,
Yeah,
the owl like freaks out, like looks back at the camera and then does this like cute little like walk away. Like it's like, oh, it's so legendary. Holy
Also,
shit.
on top of that, that gun, I think that I want to say that was a Magnum. Like, just randomly,
Dirty
like,
Harry.
It was
Yeah,
loud.
Yeah.
Was that the 357 the prosecutor's
been the
looking
one.
for? Was that Vinny did it the whole time?
The stopping power and the kick from that gun alone it probably would have hit him in the face because he's exhausted too. So like
I'm sure on this part you could talk about this next scene, but just like she says something like, "Oh, the stars are beautiful," and Vinny's like,
yeah,
"I don't see any stars."
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know,
Pouring
in my
rain.
mind, the entire time I was like, I thought that he was just looking around to tell her, like, "Shut the fuck up." You know, we're finally in peace and alone, and you're talking now. But yeah, the rain just appears out of nowhere. It's like, nope,
Yeah.
fuck it. And then,
Which
yeah,
leads
but-
to the mud.
That's
that
got
is a great picture.
dude,
You
that's
stopped
Home
right
Alone
there.
vibes right there. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Then you can clearly
God.
tell that it's a stunt double too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a man of normal stature and
Yeah,
normal
again,
body shape.
Excellent screenshot because that's not Joe Pesci.
Yeah, for sure. And so
yeah.
so like since they have to sleep in the car, it rained, they're stuck in the mud which becomes of course relevant later because of the way that already the car moves in the mud, and
Yeah, the car
also
gets
the fact
stuck.
that yeah,
Fun
and
action.
also the fact that like all of his clothes are fucked because he threw them in the mud accidentally. So
Dude,
they
the
have to go and
mud
get
out
new
there is real
clothes.
rich in iron. It's that like very red mud you get out
Yeah.
some parts
Yeah.
of these Texas
It's all the
areas.
clay. Yeah, we have
Yep.
a lot of clay in Texas as well.
And
Oh,
of course,
man.
but his fiance, she put his brand new suit into the trunk.
Yeah, so she
So it
wanted
wouldn't
to
get
get it
messed up.
clean. Yeah. And so yeah, so they finally meet JT, and the last time that they saw JT, they told him to fan out the money to see that it was like
Yeah.
proper $20 bills. So now he does it, but then he just gets like absolutely sucker punched.
I
He just
also like
punches him and takes the money.
the friend watching, like the smile never leaves his face when his friend
Yeah.
gets dick.
Now,
I mean-
Dark Hour, you would know because of the height difference. So Joe Pesci can't just punch him; he's got to like jump into the punch.
Yeah.
So
Dude.
that punch would have never worked.
Have you? Yeah, we'd call this the Superman punch or the
Yeah,
the
basically.
Ryu. What's that called?
Yeah,
The
Shoryuken.
Hadouken!
He did a Roman Reigns fucking Ryu Dragon.
Oh,
No, so
dude,
that
like,
punch would have
he
never
completely did the
worked.
punch.
Essentially, as soon as he left the ground, he would have started losing momentum.
I mean, dude, he basically jumped into the guy, just going, and then he just
Yeah.
snatches the money, like, give me that motherfucker.
what would actually probably knock this guy out, not the punch, it would be the fact that his head snapped back onto the concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely
Maybe.
smashed his elbow falling down after
Oh,
punching
yeah.
that guy.
I love how he's
Um,
flipping him off too. If you look closely,
Yeah, he also
Oh,
sent,
yeah, it's true.
he also sent Marisa Tomei to go get him new clothes, and the suit shop's closed for some
Yeah,
yeah,
reason.
nobody had said
Yeah.
that here. It was
To be fair,
Because everybody got the
Wes,
flu.
Wes said it.
Well, it's like Vinny says, like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. He only hits him once. I mean, it's not really an ass whooping, but
there you go. This is exactly like the scene right here.
the
This
whole
is
still got the whole still got the flu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they've all got the flu. And
It's got like
so-
a
so-
carnival Barker fucking outfit.
Like the
Well, the
Overlook
judge
Hotel
thinks he's-
bartender.
Yeah,
The judge
yeah.
thinks he's mocking him with that outfit. It's like,
Are
no,
you
it's the
mocking
only
me?
thing I could find, man. Suit store was closed.
Mhm. It's
I
like,
mean,
He's
yeah.
like, he's like, I had to leather jacket, which you hate, or I had this, I did this
So I
ridiculous
wore
outfit
this
for you.
ridiculous thing for you.
For you.
I find you contempt of court. Yeah, what else is new?
But there's a
Mhm.
fucking surprise.
Yeah.
The judge like, what would you say? What did I say? What?
What? Actually,
Wait.
speaking of which, I saved this one before for the most Italian thing in my opinion is when Vinny gets slick with the judge and says, "Oh, that's a fucking surprise." And legit
Yeah.
doesn't realize what he said wrong.
Yeah. He's like, what?
To this day, I'm not
What
really
is it?
100% certain if he's unaware of what he said or if it's hold on, there we go. If he's unaware of what he said or if he actually legitimately is like
I
trying
think
to
that like he
Yeah.
legitimately was just like he just didn't
Yeah.
know what he said. He just said it the way that he
I
said
mean,
it because that's who
running
he
off
is.
four,
Yeah.
4 days no sleep. So
Yeah.
and we're about to
Also,
there's a
yeah.
payoff for that too.
yep.
Mhm.
I also like how he was only dressed normally for like such a brief amount of time. You know, he wore like a decent suit the other day for a short while, and then it got ruined.
Mhm.
I got a suit.
Yep.
You've seen it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so now, like, we finally move on to the opening statements because this is essentially the first day of the trial. And yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I think the trial only goes on for what, 2 days? I'm guessing.
This is like the fastest murder. Well, I mean, it actually kind of makes sense that it's a fast murder trial because they're innocent, and there is evidence that's missing.
Yeah, there's evidence that's been able to provide a reasonable doubt as to their like. So of course, it's just a he said she said situation most of this time.
And I love Lane Smith. We just like talking about these guys have an eyewitness, and they're talking about right now and the murder weapon. Lane Smith, every time he talks, is like this and this.
Yeah,
high anus crime.
He's trying to grab the jury's attention.
Exactly.
He's like a slick car salesman.
There's a lot of histrionics involved with it.
He's like, yeah, you have to hook your audience, man. That's how you do it. And so yeah, while he's giving his opening statements, you got Joe Pesci who's asleep.
This was me in my senior year algebra class.
Oh, dude, algebra sucks, man.
Well, I was told they told me at the beginning of the year that I didn't need it to graduate, so I was like, okay, it was my first period class. I'm like, I'm just going to sleep through this class. I don't care.
You're lucky.
Just give me an F. I don't care.
and then so we've got the greatest opening statement in cinema history, which I'll play it out.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
I love that line. Like, please strike that from the record.
We struck it from the record, except for thank you.
The thank you, yeah.
I was thinking the scene coming up, guys, with the public defender. This talks about people with being offended. At the time, my aunt was so like offended by how they portrayed this public defender. I'm like, it's a comedy. Don't take
this actor actually does stutter, and he didn't want to play a stuttering character because he kind of gets typecast. Yeah, I know this guy from Tales from the Crypt as the Soul Collector, but also from My Boyfriend's Back. He's the creepy doctor who makes that kid a zombie. But yeah,
this scene is comedy gold.
Isn't he also in Independence Day? Isn't he like the scientist in Independence
Now you're
Day?
thinking of Brett. You're thinking of Data.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this scene.
All right, they look similar.
Yeah. Old guy with gray hair. They all look the same.
Like I don't know, man. He reminds me of a cartoon character, but I can't really. Oh, The Incredibles. You know, the little dude.
Yeah,
at the beginning of
the boss.
The boss. Yeah, he reminds me of the boss.
He's got this like Simpsons-esque overbite, that is like very obscene.
Yep,
it's cool.
I'm not sure if on this part captures the scene when he's talking, he's stuttering, and the black guy's just like, that's fucking legendary.
Yeah, mouth just like agape.
It's like, I mean, I would have the same reaction if like the dude just came up and said all of that stuff. I would like, Jesus, he's spitting on the jury and everything. So it's like, Jesus, man. So yeah. Then what happens is they finally start bringing in the witnesses, and so let me check. So the first witness normally is
maybe that's where I'm getting like my thought process crossed.
Probably,
yeah.
That might be like, I haven't seen Independence Day in a long time. I remember somebody being.
That's who you're thinking of, yeah.
Like,
all right, fuck it. After this, we're watching Independence Day.
No, that'll be next 4th of July.
Yeah, for sure.
See the part of that guy where he's like the second, so you see the black jury's just like,
yeah, he's like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like the poor dude. Especially when he goes to sit back, he's like, I thought you were good. He's like, yeah, but I'm working on it. It's like, Jesus.
I'm a little nervous. Like, oh my God, that's a little nervous.
He's like, he's tapping the one juror on his shoulder, like the convenience store.
And he's spitting all over them. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, man.
It's his first murder trial too, guys. Go easy on him.
Yeah, we gotta cut him some slack. But so they finally bring on the first witness, and so what the first witness does is they confirm seeing the car, and the boys fled while he was making breakfast, which he says specifically, which of course is brought up again. And then the public defender just comes in, and his argument is with the glasses that this dude uses. Except that they're reading glasses, and this is just the look that they give him after finding out that they're just reading glasses. He's like, shut the fuck up, man, please.
Well, because he was starting to feel himself, like he was starting to get into it. He was like, I got this now, and then all of a sudden he's shut down immediately.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly. And
blessed.
so, well, it echoes what Stanley said before when he was choosing when he said that he wanted a public defender, because he was saying that sometimes you can ask the
wrong
correct question, like the wrong question, but they give you an answer that at first you would think would be in your favor, but then it would just like make you even more like in crime. So
So it basically what he's saying is that you sometimes your question can actually prove the prosecution statements.
yeah,
So
said simply, Dark Hour resumes my words better than me.
well, I mean, I've seen this movie about 1,000 times, so I remember the line specifically.
Yeah, you just watched it last night in a drunken haze, you know, like cramming for
yeah.
I'm just joking.
I'm watching now with the subtitles on.
Drunken haze and I'm sifting through for the Marisa Tomei scenes. So
Yeah, man. Like I'm telling you, when the Marisa Tomei scenes were there, I was just like paused for 10 minutes. The movie was so long. I ended up watching this for like 4 hours. You know.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
just how it is. And so we finally get Joe Pesci that comes on, and so Vinny gets him on the angle where he sees the boys coming and going. So technically, he can't identify who's leaving the store since their backs are towards him, and also the length of the cooking of grits, which of course becomes relevant. You know,
Exactly.
He's like,
He said
oh, it's only 5 minutes. He's like,
Yeah,
are
by
you
the
sure?
time I was done cooking my grits, I saw them boys walking out of that convenience store, and it's
it's like
like,
no self-respecting Southerner is gonna buy instant grits.
yeah, are you using instant grits or regular grits? And he's like, of regular grits, of course.
that's you like your grits regular, creamy, or al dente?
Dente.
That would have went in the fate. That would have been one of those questions. The answer proved the prosecution because it would have been that he didn't cook them as long.
Yeah, but he knew the answer because he was at his house while he was eating breakfast. So he saw which type of grits he was eating. So he knew the answer, which is like pretty smart. And
But
so,
he does finally say at the end that I may have been wrong on the time mirror. I may have.
Of course, like what Dark Hour was saying. So the two Utes. What would you say?
Oh, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
We'll get to that. Yeah. And then well, yeah. So it is. Well, let me just play the scene.
The two Utes.
To what? What was that word?
What word?
To what?
Two Utes.
What is a Ute?
Excuse me, Your Honor. Two youths.
They say what? Like it says the two what? The two Utes. The two what?
The two what? Two Utes.
That's a Bob Ross.
Yeah. And hey, look, it's Marisa Tomei again.
Big surprise.
It's like, it is a fucking surprise.
And yeah, so like since he got the like he proved a point and basically dismantled the first witness. You've got Stanley getting up. It's like, yeah, I want him. It's like, yeah, no shit, you're fired, public defender.
I really think that there's like
I don't think you could technically fire the public defender. I think you could just dismiss him. But I get what you're saying.
I wonder if that stereotype is true. Like they constantly try to portray public defenders as incompetent and you'll probably go to prison.
No.
But I wonder if that's just like a ruse. Okay, they are.
Well,
they are
then
terrible.
if it was, then why would people hire their own attorneys, right? The public defenders should be good enough to where it's like, oh, well, I don't need to spend money. This guy's going to help me out. It's like, no, they suck.
I'm sure
There's also two. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm sure as West Coast knows in the chat, there's two people that have been to jail. Like, with public defenders, you're better off just representing yourself.
Wow.
Seriously.
More often than not, that's not due to their quality as a lawyer. It's just how many cases they have because they're a public defender.
The caseload, and also like when you toss thousands of dollars to a lawyer, they tend to get shit done on your behalf.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well,
they're a little bit more dedicated to helping you win your case if you're paying them.
Yes.
Not just win your case, but get like the lightest sentence possible.
Yes,
if you are
public defenders
guilty
are
shit.
free. That's part of the Miranda rights. That's the whole. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. There is a secondary. Chat moved. There is a secondary way that is. You can, if you can find one that will do it pro bono and do it for free, you can use whoever for free. And every lawyer in the United States is required to do a pro bono case every year.
Yeah.
No,
I can say firsthand, the first time I was arrested, I spent my lawyer, and I exaggerate, my lawyer cost me $20,000. And I can say one thing: you spend $20,000 on a lawyer versus a public defender, there's a difference in what you're getting. That's just how it is. That's why OJ Simpson spent how much did OJ Simpson spend on lawyers?
Too much.
Dude, I mean, hey, OJ got off, scot-free, so
because you get what you pay
everyone,
for, dude.
Every one of his lawyers died of like cancer or something after that. It's like some weird.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
But honestly, though, aside from like a few of these like small instances that might constitute a mistrial, and aside from the expediency of the trial itself, this movie is cited as one of the most accurate movies for law cases, and especially when in terms of litigation. And it's often used.
Yeah, they had to
educational
speed up things. They had to speed things up because if they would have had this movie take place over the course of like 4 to 6 months, it would have been too slow. It would have been, so.
Yeah, there's also some other formalities like saying they don't say "May I approach the witness" and other things, but for the most part, this is like one of the most accurate courtroom movies.
I know a lot of law schools will use this as like examples.
I mean, because I think it's like the little things. Because when there was the Depp v. Heard case, like my dad and myself would watch it almost every day, and just watching it for a while, you can tell that some of the stuff is pretty accurate in comparison to a lot of other law movies that you watch, which is really good.
Well, we did bring up that Jonathan Lynn, the director, he also made Clue and a few other stuff, but we did bring up that he is a lawyer. He was a lawyer, right?
I didn't mention.
No,
that.
we didn't bring up jack shit about him, man.
He was a lawyer, so he was definitely dead set on making an accurate law movie.
Wasn't he a lawyer in the UK though?
Yeah. He's famous for doing some UK show called Yes Minister or something or other.
Law is law.
Yeah, but like every country has a different way of running it. Like,
true.
I know in the past when we've had people move to the US, like especially from the UK, and they're lawyers in the UK, but they don't meet our qualifications to be a lawyer in the US. Did you guys know that?
No.
That's kind of a big deal. Yeah. So they have to take a couple of courses and actually pass the bar exam in order to meet our qualifications because they do not meet US's qualifications. Just
another interesting thing is like because he practiced law in New York, that doesn't technically qualify him to practice law in Alabama, and he could technically have the case, but he would have to have someone on his legal team who can legally practice law in Alabama on his team.
Yeah. Well, actually, they handle that. Remember the scene earlier on when he shows up and he hands him the book. That's him being sworn in by a judge to be allowed.
Oh shit!
Gotcha.
Never mind. Fuck.
I just looked it up.
I'll show myself out, guys. Sorry, I wasted your time.
I just looked it up. So both countries do use we both use civil law. So I was wondering if maybe the UK used common law, but no, we both use civil law. So which is basically common law and civil law are very similar. Just one is codified, the other one is not, or something like that. I don't know exactly. But we have the same legal structure.
Yeah,
which makes sense because he does actually mention in this the word verdict, which is one of my pet peeves with this movie. He says verdict. It means truth. Comes down from Old England. I'm like, it's actually Latin.
As most words are.
Yeah, they don't care. The jury.
Oh, they don't give a shit, man. You can tell them anything fancy and they'll probably listen. I mean, look at the FBI guy that they bring. He just says absolute bullshit. You're just like, yes.
Yeah, I will say I'm not sure about the rest of you guys, but I like the comedy of where Joe Pesci or Vinny. He's so fucking tired that like he's finding more inner peace in a friggin' jail cell, and he's sleeping like a baby versus like being out there in the world. And I've been there. I've slept in jail cells myself. Where if you get that tired after 5 days of no sleep, you will sleep through fucking anything.
I mean, why does he get put in contempt this time?
Exactly, it's like Reni said.
Is it because of his clothes or what was it?
I think it's also compared to some of the other shit he's been dealing with, it's quiet in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, comparatively. I agree.
Well, he's from New York. He's used to the commotion and hustle and bustle of the city, and sirens and car horns and people shouting obscenities outside your window in the middle of the night.
Gunshots.
Yeah.
So, oh look, it's Marisa Tomei once again.
Oh lordy!
This is one of those running gags that's like starting to get me. I'm like, this is funny.
Thank you, honest bird.
Oh man, look! I mean, just look at her, man. Jesus.
I mean, come on.
And so we finally get the second witness on the stand, and the second witness is the guy that they dismantle him by saying that there's dirt on the window. This is of course with the pictures that Joe Pesci took when he went to his house. So there's dirt on the window.
No.
Yeah, the brown stuff. There's a black dirty screen that's there too on the
Rusty,
window.
Rusty,
dirty covered
yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
And then there's trees with thousands of little things on those trees called leaves, I guess.
He's like,
And
don't
what are
hesitate.
those things on the trees called?
Like, Vinny's like, don't hesitate, just shout them out.
Mm-hmm. There's
How about these things between all these trees, bushes?
The bushy things?
seven bushes to be exact. And so they end up dismantling his testimony because they
He did not have a
reasonable
clear
doubt.
view. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't possibly identify looking at them for 2 seconds with his obstructed view. So
Exactly.
pretty good there. And the woman is the last witness. So
this is the best one, I think.
oh yeah, I think that it's good because as you know, he takes the
Measuring tape.
Yeah, the measuring tape, and he goes 50 feet. So 50 feet is what he does in the courtroom, although in real life it was 100 feet. And so from 50 feet, she can't even tell 2 fingers. And the judge interrupting, he's like, let the record know that he's holding up 2 fingers.
Let the record
He's
show
like,
that
"Judge."
Counselor's holding 2 fingers.
I love that.
When he says, when he tells her, when he asks her and only her, that line was
He's like,
improv.
Mrs. Riley, and only Mrs. Riley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was improv.
I did not watch the movie with. I usually watch it with what is it, commentary. I didn't watch this one with commentary. I need to go back and rewatch it. With
You let us down, bro.
Yeah,
Subscribe. I'm
Hey, look,
joking.
it's Ralph
I want to
Macchio.
say, yeah, I want to say this was Pauline Myers, this young actress, this young lady we're seeing, or I'm sorry, the young lady with the glasses. This was her final film.
Oh, I mean,
she looks pretty old there. So
I wouldn't say you could tell, but hey, you know.
It's a good note to end on. Good note to end on.
It is. So the next scene is Trotter that warns Vinny of the new evidence that he has, and essentially the new evidence that he gets is the FBI guy. So I think he's like an automotive forensics person that works for the FBI.
Yeah,
he's a car guy. He's a car guy.
Yeah, a car guy. And so Vinny objects to having him as a witness because he was sworn in last minute, and he gives you all the Alabama law mumbo jumbo to the point where the judge says that he is doing a good job, but the objection is overruled.
The one thing that inspired the scene previous to this, it shows Vinny and his fiance talking inside the hotel, and she's reading the book to him. I can't help but think that like this was part of like her telling him what to say. I don't know.
Probably. Oh yeah, I think they were kind of coaching it into him exactly.
Yeah.
He basically says it word for word from what the book would probably be.
Yeah, because she made him read the book, and he quotes the book almost verbatim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he even does ask her specifically for stuff because I think it was when she was telling him about the disclosure stuff. He was like, "Can you give me more specifics?" So she's probably telling him all of this. So she is helping in her own way.
Because after he talks to Trotter, he goes right to Mona Lisa, and it's just funny. Like it seems like so far he's playing things by ear and just kind of doing it, whatever, doing it live. And then the way he quotes everything seems like it was so rehearsed,
And then he kind of just he goes like this to her, and she just kind of like reacts.
Yeah.
So it's you're probably 100% right.
Yeah,
So,
but also. Back to the judge's overruling. Like that's another one of those inaccuracies that would also be worthy of a mistrial because Joe Pesci's reasoning for objecting to that witness is totally reasonable.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna say it's also the exact same objection that Broder gives to Mona Lisa. Exact same.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like.
So at least he was fair on that front.
Yeah, I guess it works. It canceled itself out.
Yeah,
that's right.
Mm-hmm. And
he wasn't. He didn't get. Vinny doesn't get a chance to voir dire him, whereas the prosecution does for her. So it's not 100% fair.
Yeah, right. That is true. That's the point. Yeah. And so what the expert does is that he confirms the tire marks and the model of car that is with that has those specific tire marks, and so after that they do a 60-minute lunch recess, And this is where the judge confronts Vinny again about the Jerry Gallo name, where he's like, "No, my name is Jerry Callo, C.A. because I know the Gallo is dead.
like,
That's not me."
Why would I give you his name? Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I love that when he brings him in. So it's "you're a dead man" is the word that he says.
Yeah.
Which
he's like a quaint little smile as he's like, "You lied to me and committed perjury in court, my boy." It's like a little.
It's weird
He's
because
not even that upset about it.
Fred Gwynn, the entire movie looks like someone wearing a skin suit, like an alien wearing a human skin. I'm serious, man. The way that he smiled.
How old
like
was he at this
that
point?
guy
He
from
was...
Men in Black. I think it's like Men in Black 1 and 2.
Vincent D'Onofrio, Edgar suit.
Oh yeah,
Edgar suit. Yeah.
There's a giant cockroach piloting that skin suit, is what you're saying?
Maybe. Hey, you never know, man. I mean, dude, look at his height too. It doesn't seem
Famously
normal.
tall actor and such a baritone voice too. Gotta love it. Very foghorn, like you said.
And so they essentially called the clerk, like the judge calls the clerk to get everything straight. So he'll get the real info on who Vinny is by 3 p.m., which gives them, I think that he said, an hour and a half to be able to take care of the case.
Minutes,
if there's he
was about
lunch,
he was about 65 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't look 65. That's pretty good.
Another cute piece of trivia is, Joe Pesci and John Gwynn have this, Fred Gwynn, they have this adversarial aspect, but they actually met each other on the making of this movie, became friends until old Mr. Munster passed away. So
which wasn't far after. This was only a couple years. So,
right.
Yeah. And so then after that they go to the restaurant because it's a lunch break.
Professor R2 said right here, it's Fred's last movie.
Last movie. Yep. And so at this point Vinny is informing Mona Lisa about the judge, so about the Jerry Gallo situation. She does give him the images at this point, and this is one like scene that I didn't really enjoy because I felt like he was antagonizing her for no reason because she has been helping him. Well, yeah, I mean he's stressed, but I would have agreed that this would be good if he hadn't gotten the sleep that that they showed.
Well, I think he's worried that he's going to cost the kids the case because of him lying to the judge. So I think he's really worried about that, as well as possibly losing his legal license. So that's what I chalk it up to. Yeah.
He's gonna
Because that's the other thing that I didn't realize. There is technically a ticking clock element of this movie because he's got like just a few hours. Like he says, it's like, hey, I might find out who the real Jerry Callo is in about 3 hours. So if you win this case by then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me bring that back up real quick, though, what Wes just said. I know that it usually actually does go to appeal instead of mistrial.
Right.
But for the sake of us speaking, I'm just mistrial can...
much simpler.
It's much simpler, yeah. But yeah, a lot of times he is correct. A lot of times these problems will be brought up in appellate court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, no read, no good.
Yep. And look, it's
Marisa Tomei. I'm gonna go through after this show's over. I want to see how many of these were just close-ups of Marisa Tomei.
Dude.
That'd be at least 20%.
10 at this point. I think 10 solids.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I every time
double
I saw
digits
it,
for sure.
It looks good. I mean, just look at the glint in her eyes, man. It's wow.
Yeah. Well, very good payoff. How her camera and her pictures wound up helping help out with the case later on.
Yeah.
And like you said, he does immediately as soon as she storms off. Like you do, you realize
he
like,
chases her out.
I should have been so hard on her.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry.
Actually, as the resident woman on the panel, Reni, how do you react to this scene? Like, she's trying to help. He's clearly stressed. What is your opinion on this whole matter?
So she's been offering her assistance for a long time, and he just doesn't want to hear what she has to say. So I think she's just fed up with, okay, you don't want to listen to me. Fine. I'm gone. Bye. Yep. So I probably would have done the same thing possibly before this happened, but that's just me. I don't tolerate not being listened to, especially by my significant other. That's something that's a hot button for me. So yeah, I don't blame her for walking off and being, feeling discredited by the man that she loves. It's like, okay, well, fine, forget you. So,
And I think it's a good payoff later because right now Vinny's going through the whole, male pride where he's like, he doesn't want anybody's help. He wants to say he's done this on his own. But later on, it comes down to he can't do this on his own. He needs her fucking help to win this situation. So it's a good,
which is kind of funny when you think about it, because there's nobody ever can do a trial on their own. It's like impossible. You can't go through all the legal books and stuff. It's why they have paralegals.
And this is something that Vinny has to learn though. Vinny has to learn that like sometimes maybe you can't do this. This is a difference in strengths and character development where you can't do this by yourself, dude. You need help.
Yeah, I mean, like it's something that happens across the entire movie of Vinny just learning stuff the hard way. About the judge and the suit. Look at the suit that he's wearing now. It's like it's his proper suit. He came dressed well. He's speaking eloquently for the judge, even though he doesn't like it. He is respecting it. So it's just him consistently learning how things are done and also like abiding by the rules.
Well, it's almost like to what Inspired was saying. I'm looking at right now. We're at an hour and a half into the film. Vinny is almost I wouldn't say different, but like he is at a different spot an hour and a half later into the film. So he has evolved. He has changed after 90 minutes of getting into this movie.
Yeah.
Dark Hour, can you highlight Wes's comment, please?
Which one?
Which one?
the one about uninspired. Yeah. And Marisa Tomei.
If Marisa Tomei ends up missing, this live stream will be your downfall.
Listen, man, they'll probably find a lot of stuff on my hard drive concerning Marisa Tomei after tonight, especially after I watch The Wrestler. But I wouldn't say I was compliant in it.
Yeah, I mean, you're in another part of the world.
Yeah. I mean, unless she comes here for vacation or something.
She goes missing in France, so that's not going to look good.
It's like
Marisa Tomei, star of such films as The Wrestler and My Cousin Vinny, has gone missing in the south of France, and we're not really
Academy Award winner.
She was on vacation in France and suddenly disappeared. No trace.
Yeah.
There were cat prints near there.
With a cat. Yeah, last scene with a cat in a suit. Boom.
So last scene with a 6'2" cat. It's really strange.
Oh man, but yeah. So like, in terms of what's going on in the movie right now, it's Vinny confronting the FBI analyst about the tire, and the end conclusion that he comes to, his best conclusion was that the car uses the most popular size end tire.
And model tire,
and model tire, like in the entire country.
Yeah,
so
it's basically it's almost not really useful evidence that he's using it, that they were using tires that are so common.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's when he sits down that he ends up realizing something about the picture that Marisa Tomei gave him, and so he gives the a piece of paper to the sheriff, and he tells him to go and look this up real quick. And he also goes and gets Marisa Tomei, who was outside on the payphone, which who knows who she was talking to,
He's like, get off the phone.
But also, again, for Vinny, if the sheriff didn't help him, this is a payoff at the end. The sheriff again helps him with the payoff at the end of the film. So it's like this is not, he can't do the shit by himself.
It's funny. Well, he would have still probably got this case thrown out without the sheriff.
Yes, but it just helped.
It just helped. It helped a lot, though.
Also, it's kind of like the redemption of the sheriff, like showcasing. Like I said, there are no real villains in this movie. Like everyone's trying to just serve the law, and like uphold the law, and find out who's guilty.
Yep, exactly. And so so she's brought on as an expert on general automotive, and
I love when they question her. It's so great.
This is the climax of the movie, basically.
We love where the judge is like, did you know each other? He's like, can I treat her as a hostile witness? He goes,
So I mean, this I didn't really like record anything from here because Dark Hour, we're on your channel, and you did the Why Ray Sucks video, and you used this scene as an example. So
I figured out. Way to bust up scenes now that I'm going to use going forward by throwing random clips of Patrick Stewart, and they're just going to go on.
But also to her credit, this is why Marisa Tomei won an award for her, because the way I could not memorize this dialogue. This is excellent. Just holy shit.
Well, is that her native accent as well, or is it like something
familiar? Sure, it's hammed up considerably if it is.
I mean, Marisa Tomei is like Italian American, right?
Yeah, but
she's not.
Yes, but so am I. Do I talk like that?
Yeah, she definitely, it's definitely thick, the Jersey Brooklyn accent. You know,
It's gotta chew your words, chew your words. Coffee,
Ours
hot
are
dog.
really like basically used
Yeah.
very sparingly.
But
Hold your A's longer than you're supposed to.
But it's definitely, it's a very good scene where Trotter has to question her experience and her expertise, and of course, Vinny's just like this.
Yeah, he just sits back and relaxes.
He's very excited
because she says she's the family of mechanics. Then she gets the trick question about the Chevys, which completely just fucking dismantles. And so when questions about the picture, she's like, so essentially what I understood is like the tire marks can also be made by a Pontiac Tempest and not a Buick.
First he says that two people have come, basically two more people went up in the exact same car. That's what it is. And then she says that no, that can't possibly be. There's no way that they were made by the same car.
Yeah.
And that they were made by a Pontiac Tempest. And then,
Then, of
It's
course,
very specific. How does she know that?
Well, of course, the judge, you see the judge the whole time, he's just like, he's breaking down positronic traction and stuff.
Positive traction and a solid rear axle versus an independent rear suspension.
And you can tell, and everyone in the jury's just like,
well, it's like she said, everyone knows about the mud, the famous mud out there in the Alabama, the red mud. They talk about it, and the mud they got stuck in. It's like, as you know, like if you don't have this, rear differential, then you won't have this, both tires spinning at the same time.
The slip differential.
There you go.
4 degrees before top dead center.
Right.
And this is actually true. Yeah, it's not actually technically a trick question. He's not trying to trick her. He doesn't know that he's asking a question that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yep.
And this is a reference to your watch this.
Yep.
Yes, this is them talking about the slip differential. I just like the way that you can see Joe Pesci is super enthusiastic in this scene. Yeah. It's just so good.
This is why we have to listen to the Vinny rap album that Reni was talking about.
I'll play a little bit of it, but odds are we're gonna get like
we'll listen to it. We'll listen to it in this back room.
It's songs. He doesn't really rap. He actually sings, but it's hilarious.
And yeah, man, and Joe Pesci says something that he thanks Marisa Tomei. So Marisa Tomei, thank you.
You've been a lovely, lovely witness.
Thank you, Marisa Tomei, for being in this movie.
For existing.
Oh yeah, simply for
literally.
existing, man. That's it.
So yeah, basically the little photo of showing like both tires like going over the curb, one tire going over the curb independently, leaving track marks. Like that alone was enough to completely dismantle the prosecuting attorney's entire spiel.
Well, but she got the forensics expert to agree with her, and he was like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what she said. She's absolutely right." You know,
exactly.
Yeah, technically, she has two different arguments in there.
Yeah,
one is for the rear suspension, which means that there would have been less of a tire mark on the one side, and the other one is that as soon as their car went up, it would have had because of the positive traction, it wouldn't have been the same.
Well, basically the axle,
the axle, the independent rear suspension versus the axle. That's the picture you see there, the tilting. Yeah. The positive traction is as soon as it went up, the other one would now no longer be going as fast, so it wouldn't have left a tire mark.
Yeah, it's what they showed with the mud when they were stuck and they were trying to they were trying to go. One wheel was moving, the other one not so much. And so like the mic drop comes from the sheriff himself. And so the sheriff he's brought in as the witness. The judge tells him, you're sworn in. It's like, yep. So and he takes correct me if I'm wrong, but he takes ownership that he did it, that he got the info, because he says
he's on a hunch.
Yeah, on a hunch. Yeah, that's what he says.
I think because technically he wasn't supposed to do this, so he's not. And since he's under everything he's saying is under oath and he's kind of like in a way trying to shield Vinny from it,
because he knows the truth now, so he wouldn't want a mistrial or anything.
Yeah. So he's basically saying that either way it wouldn't have mattered, but he's kind of trying to shield him from any kind of repercussions for essentially having a favor done for him by someone who was already sworn in.
Yep. And so what he says is that there was a 63 Pontiac Tempest that was stolen with two people that match the same description as Billy and Stan, the same color, and there was a revolver found in their possession, which is the same caliber as the one that shot what's his name?
Jimmy Willis.
Jimmy Willis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
357 Magnum. Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I would debate that with Dark Hour. It's like I get that without the sheriff, it could be dismissed, but still, the sheriff just hammered it home.
No, it still would have been. It still would have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All that all that second part does is actually now just go, hey, we actually know we have suspects elsewhere that we can now pursue. The other part was enough to completely dismantle it.
Okay.
And so this is just them awaiting the final verdict, which I will play.
State like dismiss all charges.
All right. Yep. Crying Macchio.
We didn't get the stereotypical judge like hammering order in my
And Ralph Macchio clean shaven again.
Yeah.
Oh,
there he is, looking like a baby.
Little baby face Macchio.
He could pass for a teenager right there.
He's got like the best head of hair, man.
I literally thought that he was 17 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like you're not eligible for the death penalty. You're a minor.
That was a joke with Toby and Spider-Man. Toby was playing a 16-year-old. Toby was like 35 in the first Spider-Man film.
I love the depiction of high school in that. It's just a bunch of 30-somethings running around.
You can tell that they're like 30-something year olds. I'm sure one of the extras in the back has like a full beard and everything.
In fairness, I had pretty much a full beard when I was in high school. So
really?
Man, I just have like a mustache. That's it, bro.
Jesus.
Now it's grayed, so it's not as good looking. But
so it's
I used to have gray hair in high school. Actually, weirdly enough, I had some gray hair. So
I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Mr. Gambino.
Well, that's cool part. What say right now? We know that Vinny is really rushing to get the fuck out of here because he's trying to avoid this before the judge gets his facts.
Finds out that she's not Mr. Callow or Gallo or whatever stupid name he's got.
He didn't.
He's like, go.
He didn't defend the first Son of Sam, is what you're saying.
The Son of Sam's dog is what he said. I had defended his dog.
Almost like what Dark Hour was saying. But right here, you really see the shot of like the difference between Joe Pesci and friggin' and his size. Like, dude, there's a foot difference easily. It's
more
than that.
Fred Gwynn was 6'5", so I think they still had Pesci on lifts.
Damn,
because he would have been over a foot taller than Pesci.
Yeah, his head would have been where his shoulders are, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Fred Gwynn isn't standing straight like too. You know, he's clearly hunched down a bit. Yeah. You know?
You get bad posture when you're super huge like that, and you get old. You know.
Yeah.
That's probably why he kind of looks like he's wearing a skin suit, like you said. He's like when you're that. And I actually just looked it up. He was 6'6". When you're that big, dude. When you're that big, and like. You have more skin. It's then if you lose weight, it's just like.
I mean, I'm 5'6". I have friends that are 6'3", and they tower above me. I can imagine a dude that's 6'6".
So I on my license it says 6'1" still, but I think I'm a little shorter because that now.
Shit.
No. Over the years of you just get shorter as you get older. You just like lose your spine compresses more, especially when you're doing jiu-jitsu on the ground and being torqued in weird directions. So I'm probably about 6 foot 6.5 inches, and he's more over me. Like it's not.
But the final payoff where it's like he tells Vinny, he's like, I'm gonna shake your hand because boy, his fiance helped him out one last time.
Yep.
Exactly. But also he tells him like, you're a damn good litigator, man.
Yeah.
You're one hell of a trial lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does congratulate him. I mean, even without all the stuff
lose some.
Yeah, exactly. Even without all the stuff that he was told by Judge Malloy, he still congratulates him because the trial was a good one. He dismantled every single piece of evidence.
I was 6'1" at the time. They measured me. They had a thing I stood next to. I just don't think I'm 6'1" anymore.
Just
oh man,
but
yeah,
yes,
the crew, all of them.
How do I do that?
Got it.
Make a poll.
I don't think if you know. Do you guys understand? I don't think you know this, but he's doing his Herman Munster way, which is like he sticks his hand up and he wiggles his fingers.
He just wiggles his fingers.
It's like I feel like to Dark Hour and on this part of the fact that at the end of the day, these guys, they're very polite, they're respectful, they're saying goodbye. When it's all said and done, nothing Vinny did they took as personal. It's just that they were doing their jobs.
Well, they just felt he was a little bit too unconventional, and I think the judge was trying to rein him in for the most part. That's just how I kind of took it. It's like, what the hell are these kind of tactics?
Yeah.
You know, it's not that Joe Pesci was on lifts. It's actually that Fred Gwynn, he's actually standing on his knees right now. He's so tall.
I mean,
they had
we've all been there.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's
No,
it's
I
something in
haven't.
the skin suit.
That's not forced perspective with Lane Smith. He's standing in front of him, you know? He's like super small.
It looks
Fred Gwynn was
pocket
huge.
sized.
Oh, dude,
He's like 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like we've got the last shot of Marisa Tomei over here, you know, just chilling, cool,
Oh
with
Lord.
wind in her hair, talking about getting
I'm surprised you
married.
didn't Photoshop him out of it. Like,
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say.
Uninspired, like giving the wink to the camera.
Out of her pics.
yeah, you could have easily put yourself in there.
Yeah.
He's like
You know what? I might
driving
after
off
this
with her.
movie. I'll do it, and then I'll post it on Twitter.
I'll
Fuck
tell
it.
you what, I'll reach out to Marisa Tomei for the wrestler stream. I guarantee you she
Yeah.
doesn't get back to me,
Oh,
but I'll reach
dude.
out.
What I'm gonna
Dude.
do is take that wrestler lap dance scene with Mickey Rourke and put uninspired in his place.
What is it? It's like the good final payoff where she tells him, she's like, you win all your cases, but with somebody else's help, right? And he's telling her, like, I wanted to do this by myself. And dude, it's like it's a good ending scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my
it's
God, what a
Enzo
fucking
said
nightmare.
before, you know, being together, it's you
And
know
he
the
can't-
strength of people.
But he can't even tell his basically future wife that thank you. You know, it's like all you gotta do is say thank you. It's thank you for helping me, and it's that pride issue, man. You know?
But hey, she wants a wedding and a church with bridesmaids and
And
flowers.
flowers.
Yeah, that was another plot point I don't think we brought up, but like, yeah, there was like a big problem was like Joe Pesci promised her that I would marry her. He would marry
After his
her
first
after he
case.
won his first case, and that's why that could be. Do you guys think that maybe he was intentionally stalling on
No, I don't
serving
think
because
so.
No.
Nah.
just
I
didn't
doubt
come
not.
around to it? Okay.
I
No.
like no.
I think what
I
it was, it might have been if it was stalling, it might have been in the sense of like, I want to know I can provide for you. Kind
See,
of thing.
that's what
like,
I was thinking for financial
Yeah,
reasons.
like I don't want you to marry a
Yeah.
loser who can't provide for you. I want to prove that I can
That's
do
what it is.
this.
It's
I
like
think.
it's definitely a guy thing where it's like guys want to do everything by themselves, and it's hard for a lot of guys to admit that they need help. And in the fact that it's hard for Vinny to, especially from a guy from Brooklyn, a guy from who's Italian, guy's probably got mafia ties. He just want to admit that he needs his fiance's help to win this case. His first murder trial case. So,
Yeah.
Quite literally his first trial.
Yeah.
Period. You don't
And
talk about starting on hard mode, man. Like every trial after this would seem so like easy in comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, he'd have to like learn everything if he's going back to a different state than Alabama. He'd have to learn if he doesn't know already, you know.
Like I'm looking at like right now the lyrics for the captions. It literally says, "Well, he has a New York attorney about to take a southern journey." That's
Actually, so I found this out.
Shit.
That song was changed for the credits. The
Oh,
real
shit.
version has it's about like a preacher and stuff, like, so they actually changed the lyrics for that.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until like not long ago.
That's interesting. Well, and then after this, there's the last line of the movie, which I really like. So that's what we'll do.
That spontaneous is romantic.
Hey, a burp is spontaneous. A burp is not romantic.
It's not.
Oh yeah, and that, ladies
They're
and
in
gentlemen,
love.
is how you end the movie. And oh look, it's so this is the director Jonathan Lynn. Jonathan Lynn with Joe Pesci, and then of course I had to take this one because it's Marisa Tomei.
I love how it's good used tires as opposed to bad used tires. Like,
Yeah, the bad used tire shop is down the block away.
With the free horse manure. Yeah.
I wonder if
then,
there's anybody else who has a picture with somebody from this movie.
Oh yeah, look! Oh look!
Heyo.
Hey, look
And
at
I
him.
look older than him.
Yeah. He is a senior citizen in this picture. You understand? He's an elderly man.
So
Dude.
this was the Comic-Con like right during like
Dude,
COVID.
Ralph
So
Macchio,
you
holy
could
shit.
tell I was not paying attention to what
Mhm.
I thought I was going to be wearing a mask the whole time. He's like, "No, take the mask off. We're taking a picture." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, not ready for that at all.
Yeah. Dude, how many freaking baby fetuses is Ralph Macchio eating? Like,
That's what I was thinking too.
Like Christopher Reeve on South Park.
Exactly. Thank you, Reni.
nice.
That's where I got it from.
Oh yeah.
I love that episode
Oh my
with
God.
it was.
Hackman.
It was
South Park.
Hackman.
That was
But
also
yeah, it
the
was
episode where
actually-
Timmy and Jimmy joined the Crips.
No, that's a
Save
different
episode.
one. You're
Oh
thinking.
shit!
Oh wait, was it?
No, it is. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it
it is.
is. You're
'Cause,
right.
he's trying to start their own gang where we're crippled from birth.
And
they
the guys
start
are
hanging
like,
out
we're
with
gonna
Chris.
stay out of this one. We don't want any
No.
part of this one.
Well, I was
Yeah.
watching this last night. I wanted to ask the panel that, I get the fact that we live in a world of MCU and DC and, prequels and requels and shit like that. But why did we never get to see, because it's such a perfect fucking film. Why didn't we ever get to see Vinny and Mona Lisa go, like Dark Hour said, to another, like maybe go to like Carolina or something, or San Francisco, or why didn't we never?
Because I don't
Because
think
it
you
just
really
doesn't really warrant a sequel. Did you see
What
a
else are you
sequel
gonna
doing
do?
well for this movie? I mean, I don't.
There
It's
was a proposed sequel about
one
them
and
being like
done.
private investigators or something.
Yeah, but it didn't really get funded, because like who would want to see a sequel to My Cousin Vinny? I just don't think it would have made any money.
How much money did this movie actually make?
The box office was 64.1 million on a budget of 11 million.
Okay, so it made a good profit.
And on top of Marisa Tomei winning the Oscar for this film, and I'm just saying, like, I get the fact people don't want to see sequels and threequels and fourquels, but like these characters were so good together. Like, I would have loved to see Joe Pesci and Marisa Tomei in one more film.
You know what? I could say that I would love to see their characters with them doing the voices in an animated TV show.
Kind of like what they did with Clerks for a while.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like
That I
Clerks,
could
they're
see.
like,
We'll
we're
be
just
lucky
going
if
to
we see
different
them-
towns.
We'll be lucky if we see them come back for some, commercial at a Super Bowl one day, one year.
That's actually true. We could see that. But yeah, it's
Man, there's some potential there
how it
for
could
like an
continue.
NFL player who's on trial. Oh, we lost Reni there for a second.
Now, I couldn't help but thinking, guys, I know that we follow, everyone here follows a critical drinker, and we're watching this stuff, that I couldn't help but think that imagine if this was remade, because it's 2023, but what if everything was done in 2023, where you notice that Vinny and Mona Lisa, they're never fished out of waters because of their skin color. They're just from Brooklyn to Alabama, but
It's their ridiculous clothes that make them fish out of water.
But you guys know goddamn well, if this was remade nowadays, it would be, both of them would be a different skin tone, and that's all it would be talked about, is they're fish out of waters because of the way they look. Yeah.
Also, the idea of like innocent, until
proven guilty.
Yeah.
And
Just this idea of like,
not to mention the fact that Mona Lisa would come in with a she'd have a law degree that she got while they were there.
Well, hold on. This is where you'd
Girl
actually have
bosses.
Kathy Bates playing the role, or somebody that size. You
And
know
she
what I
would
mean?
be-
she'd be the judge. Why we got a
it'd be
male
Kathy
judge?
Bates, and she would be completely irresistible to everyone.
And wearing the same freaking outfits.
Well,
isn't Kathy Bates the new Matlock?
No idea.
There's like a Matlock remake TV show.
And I
with
know,
Kathy
according to the
Bates.
chat, I get where people are coming from, but guys, we're about to hit 2024 sooner than later, and eventually,
so put that evil on us.
I am truly waiting, and I'm not saying it lightly. I'm waiting for a My Cousin Vinny remake. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. This
Listen,
movie is
it's gonna be like My Cousin LaQuisha or something like
exactly.
that.
Thank you.
It's gonna be Vinny. I'm telling you.
It'll be Queen Latifah playing the
My
character.
cuh. They call him cuh, you guys. It's my
They call him
cuh.
Cuh. What's
Cuddy,
up, Cuh?
Cuddy.
What's
What
good,
up,
Cuh?
Cuh?
My
That's the whole
Cuddy.
point. It's like when you're watching
Cuddy
the film,
Vinny.
it's like Vinny and Mona Lisa are dealing with, they have like a black bailiff, they have black people in the jury and stuff. It's never once mentioned that the fact that they're in Alabama, that's based on skin color. They're just two people from Brooklyn. But of course,
I'm just saying I wouldn't mind this. I think I could work with this. Ray, attorney at law.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ray
That could work.
Skywalker.
This may be the most interesting super chat I've ever seen. But $5 from Professor R2 has sent us a link for a real commercial for a YouTube. I'm afraid, but I guess we'll give it a shot. Let me go look at it. We'll play it.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
It's a lawyer's commercial, man. It's so funny.
Okay, hold on. I have to pull it up on actual
seconds,
YouTube
man.
first.
Yeah, he better not be capitalizing on the My Cousin Vinny shtick. He better be doing his own thing. That's all I ask.
Hold on, I have to actually go and like get the link from the actual YouTube.
Dude, don't worry. I'm way ahead of you. I'm down.
Oh, you got it already?
Dude,
okay.
I've got everything, bro. I'm downloading it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
upload it to
Okay.
All right. I'm uploading
You
it
don't-
to StreamYard like right
You don't have a
now.
co-host for nothing.
Dude,
Sometimes I forget that I could be like, hey, you want to take care of this one? Like,
it's like pull up the clip. I'm doing it, Joe.
The Hammer. No, the Hammer's a Texas lawyer, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this
Hell
this is
yeah.
it. What is
When I
it?
take
Mike's.
Mike
Slocum?
Slocum.
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 Oh,
wow.
okay. That's a weirdly shaped head too. Damn, nice and
That is a
square.
box-shaped head. It reminds me of my little Playmate lunchbox. Actually, it's kind of what it's shaped like a little bit.
Take on the insurance company? I ain't settling for no small dough. I'm hunting for the big bucks.
I imagine the poor animator who got hired to do this thing. You want what?
I'm Mike Slocum, an Alabama Hammer. You've been hurt in a car wreck. Let me hunt down the big bucks for you. Call me.
I love everything about this.
Wow.
That was fantastic.
That is
Dude,
very
it looks like something you'd see in Breaking Bad, like a Salt, one of Salt's campaigns, you know?
Did
That's
we confirm that he
very
pronounces his name
reminiscent.
Slocum?
No, I have no idea. Oh wow, hey,
What
that's a
assholes?
great one.
What assholes in the super chat?
You know what?
Yeah, right.
I'll accept that. I wish I was Ralph Macchio's grandfather. But I do know that Reni needs to leave, so I want to give her a few minutes to have like her gracious exit as the Empress.
Thank you, Reni.
And tell
You're
us
awesome.
her last little bit about the film and everything.
That's so funny.
Her.
just kind of
Reni.
a conclusion of the film.
Yeah, well, no, just
like,
any last little bits you want to throw out there, or say
Yeah.
on Mr. Brown
anything.
Alliance tomorrow, anything, since you're.
No, I did love this movie, but yes, I will be on with Mr. Brown Alliance tomorrow. So yeah,
Check it
we'll
out.
definitely be doing that. I enjoyed rewatching this film last night and discussing it today. It's interesting hearing perspectives. I know we got a little off topic off and on, so
Of course.
I apologize for contributing to that. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching it again, and I do have it in my actual Blu-ray collection on physical media. So
Nice.
Always
Yeah.
go physical media if you can, guys.
I know.
And
That's
to
right.
answer Wes's question, I'm not going to pop it up, but she does not have a channel, but she appears on many channels. You can find her
Really?
at Mr. Brown Alliance. You can find her here. You've appeared
Yeah,
on a
I
few
mean,
others
I
as well.
technically have one, but I basically have all of you guys that I've been on with, like, basically listed, like, just come and find me here.
Yeah.
So, you know,
She's
yeah.
she's more of a feature, is what it is. It's like she's featuring,
yeah. That's literally what I put, featured on.
There you go.
Yeah. It was awesome having her on, dude.
But yes, thank you again, Reni, and we'll have you again on soon. I think we have
Yeah.
booked for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, 2 shows from now again. So I got actually everybody
think
here is going to
so.
be appearing again
Pretty soon.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But
Alright.
yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for coming, Rennie. If you need
Yeah,
to go.
thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Always
not
a
problem.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Very
you're,
nice
you're
meeting
welcome
you.
whenever.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Sorry, hubby and I got to run. I realized the time. I'm like, I got to go.
Yeah.
No
Um,
problemo,
thank
no
you.
problemo.
All right. Have a good one.
You
too,
too. Bye.
Bye.
I like Reni.
Lovely to have met you.
Alright.
She should make a channel. Why not?
Oh, channel takes time, man. It's annoying
Yeah.
as
Trust me, I don't look this tired for no reason.
If
I
Dark,
wouldn't wish this hell on anyone.
if Dark can make a channel, anybody can. Come on.
It's true. If I can do it, anyone can.
Ew.
I started with zero understanding of any of this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're like me too. Like, yeah, I just had free time, so I was like, "Fuck it, we'll get better
Yeah.
with time." And that's essentially what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll just bring it home. Anybody have any last little
Yeah,
things
we'll
to
start
say
with
about the film?
Blue Collar. What do you have going on? What are you live streaming on? Or
Yeah,
shout out your
we've
shit,
been doing
man.
we've been doing this thing where it's like I've seen you and Dark Hour have the uninspired hours, so I decided to have Stepenzo and Wes Kelly on. And anytime, honestly, Dark Hour and uninspired, I know you guys are busy as fuck. That's why I don't ask you guys. But I decided to make something where How Drinker had this thing called Open Bar. I decided to call
happy hour.
Happy hours, yeah. I decided to call this.
I know
thing
your
called-
own show better than you know your own show.
Thank you. Yes. Well, look, dude. Half of this is gone. So see?
That's not half.
Oh, wow.
Wait a
That's
second.
almost
like
there.
a quarter.
I
A
haven't
quarter-
ate since yesterday.
A quarter
so-
of a quarter.
But no, I decided to make this thing called Losers Lounge, and just me sitting down with Wes and Enzo, and it's hilarious as fuck. We do something similar to how you and Dark Hour do this right here. But yeah, it's in like I joke about Dark Seth. He sent me a fucking $50 super chat, and I'm like, I sent $15 to the drinker. Like, dude, I feel guilty taking a $50 super chat. Like, I feel
I
like,
haven't gotten a $50 super
dude,
chat.
I feel like so I'm coming for Dark Hour.
No, amount of work I put into my videos. And
I know, but no, but it was like Dark Hour said he knows damn well he's a personal friend. We've talked online, offline, and the Drinker, and I say this all the time. Drinker did get back to me on Patreon. He basically created Dark Hour, but he also inspired my channel to grow. And it wasn't for the Drinker. Dark Hour's got almost fucking 3,000 subs. I finally hit 1,600, and like we keep saying, dude, like I don't say this as lightly, but you know our channels are growing because of the Critical Drinker. And I just constantly say, dude, thank you so much for just helping us out, man. Like Drinker is pushing 2 million fucking subs. Dark Howard had a channel that had 0 subs.
I had no channel. They wouldn't even have 0.
Exactly.
I had less than I had a negative channel.
That's why it sometimes, you know, I don't know Drinker personally, like the way I know Dark Hour, but I consider Drinker like somewhat of a friend. And the fact that this guy has 2 million subscribers, he's helping out Dark Hour get his channel up, my channel get up. This guy, he earns nothing by helping us out. So the guy of Will Jordan has no problem remembering where he came
from. You're on my channel.
So that's what I want to say is like, you know,
you can find
it's like the only reason me and Dark Hour don't stream every single day for is because, you know, both of us, we are both blue, you know, I joke about blue collar loser, but Dark Hour, same thing as me. He works a full-time job, and me and Dark Hour, we would stream five days a week, but we're both so fucking busy. Like after this stream, I'm about to go work a 12-hour shift. So
but yeah, you do what you can when you can, man. That's as long as you got to enjoy it. That's why I've been doing the Ray videos. I've been doing all that stuff, you know, because the review season burned me out. Doing like I did like 9 straight reviews.
You got like Flash, Indiana Jones, all
of like, and 8 of the movies were terrible. And I was just like,
I'd say, I mean, yes, Uninspired's been on with Benzo's channel, but I don't say this. No bullshit, 100% not as a friend, but Dark Hour. When people ask like, who is your favorite recurring person on the open bar? I say as a person unbiased from Dark Hour, he is. I want to hear more of Dark Hour and Drinker. They got a great chemistry.
Yeah, they do.
Come on.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I based a lot of what I do on him and Mahler, you know, and you guys, and streaming with all 3 of you guys with regularity. I've kind of built like, I don't really have a character, so to say, but I've kind of, you know, I've built like how I approach the whole thing through
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. But, all my missing hair.
People said this, like, I feel like Dark Hour is genuine, and this is sometimes some of the Drinkers open bar guests, it just feels like it's a fucking shtick, you know. And
some people are a character, you know. It's like that's who they are, you know. And I shouldn't say that's who they are. That's who they are online. And it's some people that works for other people. It doesn't.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like.
I can't do it. I can't, like, you know.
That's what I said.
I would get lost in it.
I like you more because you feel genuine. Like you're the same person online as you are offline. And a lot of these guys feel like they're a character, but when they're offline, a different person. And I know Drinker, the fact that he's the same dude offline as online. So.
Apparently, I don't know who you found, Dark House, but I'm gonna check his channel out.
Yeah,
Dark House. No, but in all honesty, though, I really appreciate that that's how you feel, because that's what I'm going for. You know, I don't want this. I don't want to be a character. I want people to like what I do for what I do, and that's one of the reasons why I think all of us get along.
Yeah,
you know, your stuff's very genuine. Stupendo's stuff's very genuine. Uninspired stuff comes off as very genuine, and I think that's very important.
I'm just like a cat. Yeah,
he's one cool cat. That's what
I'm just a cat.
I mean, if you look at at like survivability online, especially on YouTube, the people that are the most genuine are the people that have the longest survival rates of keeping their actual fan base with them, because you don't have a shtick. If you do have a specific shtick, then it is annoying, because whenever that stick gets like outlived, you're just like, yeah, you know. Dark House, yes.
Dark House is a great rum name. I do want to kick over to Stupenza real quick, because I know you have half the audience has disappeared, but I know I want you to pitch out, because you got a lot of stuff. You've been working hard.
This fucking maniac, man. Holy shit.
Well, you know, I got my my Stupenzo YouTube channel where we do Tales from the Dork Side every Monday at some point in the day or night, where we just stream loosey-goosey, talk about movies, nerd out. Then every Wednesday I do one of these We Watch videos, Dork Side We Watches, where we, goof off and riff on a movie, kind of like Mystery Science Theater. Well, this Halloween, this October, I've been, like I said, I've been working really hard with you guys, actually. You guys have been helping me a lot. I'm sharing my screen here. I did release my first review video ever and it was for the creator, but it was actually secretly just a ruse to get you to watch my Schlocktober advertisement. I got 31 movies. I'm riffing a movie in full, unedited every day this month. And I've got Uninspired on 6 of them. I've got Blue Collar on like 6 of them. I've got Dark Hour on 2 of them. I've got my cousin on a bunch. I got a bunch of guests. We're watching all these funny ass movies, laughing at them. It's going to be fun. And we're also still, in addition to that, doing the Wednesday weekly We Watches, which will all be horror themed. So yeah, it's spooky season, baby. I'm ready. And also I will be making the rounds finally on the streams here today. I'll be on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel
with
Monday.
Yeah,
talk about The Shining, and then I'll be there the following Monday talking about The Exorcist.
Yep.
Not just 2 of my favorite horror movies, but 2 of my favorite movies in general. So
I have no problem saying the past like 6 weeks, Stupenzo, this motherfucker is a master of thumbnails. Like I can pitch him.
I am a professional graphic designer. I'm a professional illustrator. The thumbnails I whip up in seconds for you.
He is the official fucking creator of my thumbnails. This guy, he can make 5 thumbnails in like 5 seconds. It's disturbing.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I still work very hard. I make band posters for a living. That's what I've been doing. I plan to make a comic book for the next year. So basically, stay tuned for my second review film view analysis video at some point in October. And then I guess up until for the next year, I'll be working on just doing the same We Watches and goofing off with y'all every Monday, once a week, hopefully. And it's just a fun time, having fun, partying.
Yeah.
We do it for the lulz over here. And also I got 235 subscribers, not a lot, but I do say
we're gonna get you up there.
But once I get up to 250, I plan to do a live stream karaoke song. When I get to 500, I'll do a few songs. When I get to 1,000, I don't care when it happens, I'll do a whole like hour set karaoke. So we'll do celebrations as I get up there on the subscriptions, you know.
You'll
but
get there, man. Don't worry.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time.
Stupenzo did a video about Scruff McGruff talking about smoking crack. Like,
no, that was like, that's something I posted on my social where it was me listening. I rediscovered that McGruff album, and there's a song called Crack or something like that. Cocaine and Crack by McGruff. Listen to that song. It's hilarious.
I'll check it out.
Your facial expressions.
It comes on all catchy, and then I can't remember the words, but it's like, yeah, you like to smoke crack and snort cocaine. Yeah, it's funny. Damn it! Now it's gonna be bothering me. Here, yeah, yeah. It could. Anyway, but yeah, the point is we just goof off. I don't know. I mean,
check out the Stupenzo and Blue Collar's channels, man. Like Stupenzo has been my Tuesday night date for like the past 3 weeks, basically. Recording the Schlocktober stuff.
Dude,
yeah, I was watching 3 to 4 of these shitty movies a day, basically, for the last 3 weeks to get ready for Schlocktober. So it's been an honor hanging out with you and y'all helping me. It's been wonderful.
I'm looking forward to the how to make a monster double feature that you and me did, because that was
dude. We watched there's a lot of I was trying not to bring it up, but yeah, like Perusa Balk and Tim Curry doing The Worst Witch. There's like so many of these other terrible movies we watched. Me and Uninspired watched a few. It's so good, so fun. And I plan to do the same thing next year. So that's how I feel. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Uninspired, what do you got coming up? You're on like every channel nowadays.
Oh, dude, you're
making the rounds like crazy.
Dude, I've been making the rounds since I stopped making videos for a while, because I haven't posted in 3 months now, I guess.
Yeah, and somehow you've had more growth without posting a single video.
It's actually true, man. Like ever since I hit 1K, because I posted my last video before I had even hit 1K, I remember, because I wasn't monetized by the time and I needed 1K. And then I posted my Across the Spider-Verse video. And right after that, that's when the Dread video just absolutely
very good. I watched
soared. Thank you, man. Yep. And so I've been gaining 30 subs per day steadily ever since. And I'm just chilling, you know. But yeah, so I've been on I think 100 live streams in just those 3 months, probably, because I was on a live stream almost every day of the week at some point. Yeah. So live streams are still ongoing for me. I have dropped down a bit, but I'm gonna be on Monday with Stupenzo. We're gonna be on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel.
Nice.
So I'll drop that in the chat. And so we're gonna be covering The Shining this week. And then
Good
next
film.
week, I'm going to be on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel again on Monday night, and we're going to be covering The Exorcist. So basically,
I feel like I've heard this exact thing.
I'm
just about
excited.
5 minutes ago.
But
So,
also
yeah, I mean-
uninspired. If you want a pregame, we might do a short pregame or after party stream on my channel after those Cannoli Sasquatch streams. So,
Dude, do you know what time they finished on my end?
well, then maybe before. Maybe we'll do a pregame for you.
Pre-gaming it.
Just a little hour
They
stream.
start at 3 a.m. my side, and then they end at around 6 to 7 a.m. my side.
You're a champ.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be on with Cannoli for basically the entire month of October. So yeah, really the entire month of October. I'm gonna be there for every single Halloween movie he does. First week of November, I think. But in terms of
Sweet.
live streams, those are the only ones that I'm fully booked for, except for two hosts, of course. Except that on the 10th of October, I'm going to be streaming The Invisible Man with Jacob Ironside, who was in the chat before.
The old one, I'm assuming, right?
Oh yeah, the original one, the one that the reason
Chevy
I chose
Chase
that
one,
is 'cause,
obviously.
I mean, I already have a video on it, so I made a 20-minute video on the original Invisible Man. So, and
Dude,
thank you.
we talk about how the Invisible Man has like one of the highest death counts of body counts of any Hollywood movie monster.
Oh yeah, dude has like 200 easily.
Motherfucker's a
the
vicious
train wreck,
monster.
so that's
Yeah,
why.
he's a cold-blooded killer.
So yeah, and so I'm gonna be on Cannoli Sasquatches. I put in the chat. We also have our lovely moderators in the chat sending out all the links, and everyone's links are in the descriptions, of course. So do check that out. And
who's saying he's not in there?
then yes, of course, Jay Goodwin. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Highlight it for me, please.
This is why we have to stop.
Yeah.
Clicking the same thing. I'll do it. There we go.
So yes, I'm also going to be on B-sides this Friday. So any week where there isn't the uninspired hour or so on the Saturday, on the Friday night, you're gonna catch me on B-sides. So it's gonna be with Jay Goodwin, Atom Gray, and Barbara Lawrence, and all we do is basically just riff and watch stuff live. So always stuff from black and white. So the golden age of Hollywood. We watch that live Fridays, and so yeah. It's there in the chat. B-side is going to be like B-roll stage. That's the channel. And so, you can catch me there this Friday. I'm going to be there too. So I think that's enough for me because I've been fucking babbling on for the past 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. I've got the old boy video coming soon. The old boy video is coming soon too.
Well, in comparison, I've got like nothing coming up for a while.
I say Spence, we have to get him on Losers Lounge because Uninspired's got that smooth, cat-like, sensual voice.
It's crazy. He takes steps, and the steps that he takes never make more footsteps. It's weird.
Yeah. It's weird because I call myself the uninspired reviewer. I told you guys why I have the cat because it's like my real name is Felix, so Felix the cat. I've always been called that.
Just doxed himself.
But my entire life, I've been compared to a cat. So they're like, "Oh, you have cat-like fingers, and you move like a cat." Because when I move, I'm very, very silent. I mean, even going down and upstairs, I barely make noise. So it's like really weird.
Well,
my dad even told me that I write
eventually the next Rocky video come. I need to have the inspiration from within to write those ones. I can't just do it
well, I mean, I can say one thing, joking friends aside, that all three people, Dark Hour, Uninspired, Spenzo, I've seen YouTubers that have 10, 20 times your guys' sub count, and I don't think they deserve it. You guys, all three of you guys, especially Spenzo. I always say that he's the funniest fucker I know.
Oh,
dude, he's fucking great.
Spenzo needs he should have
real gay, guys.
He should have 20,000 subs, man. He is funny as hell, man. He's underappreciated. So
okay.
But I think
I'm used to being a rock star. I'm literally a rock star in real life, you guys. I'm a professional drummer. I've had groupies before. So it's cool being the underdog on YouTube and being like the lame guy. Hey, can I hang out with you guys, please?
I've said it from fucking day one. I'm waiting for Dark Hour. I can't wait till he hits 5,000, 10,000 subs. He deserves it because his rave videos are fucking. I watch him with my kid. My kid's 16 and he hates modern stuff. My kid, we watched every single Dark Hour video together. He loves Dark Hour content.
We're gonna need a bigger gay.
That's okay, guys. We're gonna call it the end right now.
Yeah.
I got nothing to plug. So
you don't have your next Larry Sucks video already.
Well, that hasn't even been written yet. I'm gonna
Dark Hour is gonna be plugging all of us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Our
Depends.
channels, I mean.
I love the fact that Ray is such a shitty character. Dark Hour can make 20 videos just off her first film.
Well, the next
No.
one is gonna jump into the Last Jedi, which
Also-
really upsets me because I don't want to have to rewatch that.
Oh,
Right, but what I
dude,
appreciate
would you
about
for?
Dark Hour, and not just Dark Hour, but everyone, is like how we can still find new stuff to criticize Ray's character over.
Yes.
It's like unbelievable.
Mhm.
It's like there's still more. There's still it's like there's
And
layers.
the
It's like an
craziest part
onion.
about Dark Hour too is the Dark Hour is actually bringing in scientific facts to
Yes.
just fuck up everything.
You know what's the crazy part is I'm sitting right here, guys, and you just it's like
How many times that the Mies depends on when Wes Kelly said we wish we had Dark Hour for these fight scenes, but he's busy. But we will break down fight scene analysis with Banshee, and we're like, damn, we wish we had Dark Hour here, but he's the
I
guy's
mean, hey,
doing-
Dark Hour, I hope you do a good job when we're doing martial arts. So
yeah, if
Yeah,
I
we have a
shit the
lot of
bed
fight
during
scenes.
martial arts month, that'd be really really bad for me.
it'll be like, Dark Hour, you're a fake and a fraud.
Dude.
They should chase you down.
Hey, we should also just like Wes Kelly said, Kill Bill 20 years. Holy shit, guys!
Yeah, we're doing
Oh,
Kill
right.
Bill on the
Nice.
next live stream, actually. So
Nice.
yeah, next live stream is gonna be Kill Bill. It's gonna be on the 15th of October normally.
Nice.
And it's gonna be Copa.
Well, no, that
Rocky
one's actually a
Mountain.
special edition because I am busy that Saturday. So
Yeah, so
we're
that is
doing
going
a
to be on a
Sunday
Sunday.
stream.
It's going to be an exceptional Sunday stream because Dark Hour is busy on Saturday. However, it will be on the same week that it was intended to be. So instead of being on the
Yeah.
14th, it's on the 15th.
I'm never busy. I have no friends. So.
Yeah, well, all of his friends
So-
are here.
So yeah, and then so I mean, concerning the two host stuff, we have some cool stuff planned out for that'll like begin next year. You know, so round tables
Nice.
and shit
Yeah.
like that instead of just the
We're
usual
possibly
movie
working on
breakdown.
a thing for the off weeks for
Mhm.
just a brief little thing that we could do on the weeks that doesn't require quite as much. As
Yeah,
the-
just
as
like
the
some
one-
chill like 1 hour streams on
Yeah.
the weeks that don't require much preparation. So yeah, we're doing all of that. But for this year, of course, till the end of the year, we're booked. We
We're
have
pretty much
great
set, yeah.
guests lined up. We have great movies lined up too. So
Nice.
everything will be great. And oh yes, Professor R2 just brought it up. Mr. Brown, I'm gonna be on Mr. Brown Alliance's channel tomorrow.
Okay.
So I will be
Check
there
it out.
tomorrow with Reni too. It's gonna be a tribute stream a bit to Tim Hannebaum. Tim Hannebaum was one of the people that was in the chat with us, and sadly he lost his life not too long ago.
I'm
So
sorry.
he was a friend of mine, and yeah, so we're gonna honor him a bit tomorrow on Mr. Brown Alliance's channel. So if you guys want to hop in or in the chat and just say hi.
Yes, hop into the chat. You can't invite him on the Brown.
You can't really invite him. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to hop into the chat, that's what I mean. And
That's the
yeah,
funnest
so-
chat out there, man.
Yeah,
A lot of
Brown
our
Alliance,
people are from there. So
really like one of the best channels out there. So yeah, we're gonna just plug him a bit, and in a good way. Don't take my words. So yeah, we're gonna plug Mr. Brown, and I'm gonna be there tomorrow with Reni. So
I'll
yeah,
check it
you
out.
guys can catch us there. Normally it's at like 10 p.m. 10 p.m. British time. So
it's
Yeah.
5 p.m. Eastern.
Rest in peace, Tim Hiddle.
yeah, Tim Hannebaum. Yeah.
I love to say this Hannibal. That's how
Yep.
Mr. Brown would say it.
Yeah.
Tim's middle name is I like saying this.
Yeah, it's like I
basically
like
at this
saying this.
point.
Yeah.
Hannibal. But yeah,
So, yeah.
so I
Well,
guess that just leaves us with
yeah.
the outro and seeing if I could time it. So
Yeah,
let's-
man.
let's
So
give it a shot.
thank you
Oh,
everyone.
God, look at this bottle.
coming by.
It's getting there.
And of course, thank you Blue Collar for coming by, Stupenza for
Thanks,
coming by.
Howard.
Always
You're awesome,
fucking
dude.
great. And
Been great.
And thank
Yeah.
Rennie too. Yeah.
thank you
for
Reni.
having me.
We'll have you again, no worries. But here we go with the best outro in all of streaming.
Wait.
All right,
Oh, you got
peace
something
out.
else?
Yeah,
How many
you
more
gotta say-
things do we have?
You whore.
You gotta say thank you to the chat. You gotta say thank
Yeah,
you to
thanks,
the
you
chat.
guys.
They know we love them. Come on.
So
Yeah,
we love you,
subscribe to
chat.
my channel, Stupenzo, so you can hear me do stupid karaoke later this week.
Yeah, and so yeah, thank you everyone in the chat. Dark Hour, you're the man for the timing. So
I'll
see you,
try. I
everyone.
don't get it every time, but I'll try.
Yeah.